just give me sweet little memes. It's the only thing that's keeping me sane right now. The Pope is dead. The planet is burning. Dumbasses are cutting trees down in downtown LA. But I am seeing the roundest J.D. Vance faces and the most hilarious memes I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, the Hegseth memes are
Keg's
hilarious.
breath.
They're hilarious.
Oh my god.
Especially the ones with his kids like, oh dear god, dad's drunk again and people can see it this time.
I know.
The meme game has been fantastic. Chef's kiss.
Life-giving.
To the people of the internet for the amazing memes this week.
Whether it's the Pope Untucked.
Yes. That was a good one.
What was that? The new Pope?
The next Pope is going to receive a year's supply of Anastasia Beverly Hills Cosmetics and $200,000.
Oh my god. The Pope's little red shoes are worth more than $200,000.
I'm going to have to watch The Conclave again.
Yes.
I watched it a while back when it first came out, but I read somewhere that now that the Pope has passed, Netflix said like the viewership for The Conclave went up like 236%.
I'm impressed. So I'm like, oh my god, people are being smart.
Like, no, all of us non-Catholics want to know what weird shit y'all get up to when you pick a new Pope. Like, what's that about? Who are these men in red dresses? What's happening here?
It is just like the Popenings, the Pope happenings.
The Popening.
The Popening.
Sounds like a franchise. The Popening.
The Popenings.
Dun,
no,
dun,
it's
dun.
the best political thrillers you will ever come across. Or like crack open a history book and read about any Pope. Pick one.
I mean, the Borgias are my personal
favorite. They were foundational.
I mean, they gave me Cesare, who, if memory serves, is who Machiavelli based The Prince on.
Yes.
Cesare Borgia.
I believe so. It was one of them.
Yeah, I think it was Cesare, not Juan, because Cesare killed Juan. Oops.
It slipped. He slips at the end of my dagger.
Like, Lucrezia, the Borgias are excellent, and if you want to go back in time and watch the Showtime show the Borgias with Jeremy Irons
you must
as Pope Alexander Borgia. Oh my god, so much and he chews that scenery.
I know. So mainline to the Borgias, get some conclave. Also, you can never go wrong with the young Pope and the new Pope.
You know, I did actually like the young Pope. I liked both of them. Actually.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, the style. I just like honestly, I'm in the young Pope mostly for the fashion.
I remember watching it going, I don't think popes really do any of this shit, but I'm here for every last inch of it.
It's so good.
As the resident non-Catholic on the show, I'm just like, I don't think that's how it really works, but I'm watching it.
Yeah.
But in case you didn't know where you are, this is not the Pope is Dead hour, although it could be.
It's going to be Pope is Dead a couple weeks.
Actually. Yeah, the Catholic channel is just people in churches just staring at the Pope's
YouTube
body.
Is just live streaming the body and everyone's like
staring at
pop quiz.
It's very strange. I think they're looking for signs of life.
What strange Catholic choreography is going on now?
But in case you didn't know who you are, this is not Let's Stare at the Pope's Body and Hope for Fine Signs of Life hour. I am Samara.
And I am Jeannie.
And this has been Talk Deadly to Me. Oh, Jeannie, are you ready to pick up on the last and final chapter?
Yes.
The continuing saga of Cindy, Campbell, Ray, and David Duval.
Yes, I need closure. So much closure and conclusion.
Well, where we last left off, sadly, Cindy and David were able to pull off their dastardly plans.
I can't imagine how horrific it was for those kids. I mean, I've thought about that all the week. Just thinking about those poor boys and to be like, just banged out of your sleep like that.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about it more in a little bit. But thankfully, as terrifying as it was, they didn't see anything.
Oh, good. Small mercies.
In the sense of they don't know who was in the room.
Yeah.
I mean, they saw plenty. They saw the bodies. They saw the blood.
Yeah.
But they didn't see anything that could,
the actual horrific moment.
Right, or put them in danger or anything like that. So it was 3:40 a.m. when Maria woke up because she heard a loud pop.
Mm.
She wasn't sure what it was, but as she cleared the fog from her eyes, she realized that the security light was out again.
Mm.
She made a mental note to tell Virginia about that in the morning. And as Maria tried to settle back into sleep, she heard the kitchen door in the big house slam, the side door.
Yeah.
And then she heard footsteps and banging running up the stairs to her apartment.
Oh my God.
Then there was banging on her door. But before Maria could make a move to call the cops or find something to defend herself,
Yeah.
she heard a high-pitched scream, and it was the panic of little Michael and Matthew
Oh.
banging on the door, begging Maria to let them in.
Oh, poor babies.
Maria, Maria!
Oh my God, if I could
Let
get
us
my
in.
hands on
Let
Cindy and
us
David
in.
myself.
As Maria got up to open the door, she heard Michael scream that his parents were dead.
Oh.
At first, Maria thought the boys had just had a nightmare.
Yeah.
Actually, in recent weeks, more than a few of the Campbells' friends had had horribly terrifying lucid
I
nightmares
know.
about somebody causing them harm. Maria had one. One of James's associates in his law firm had one. Virginia had one herself.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe in the supernatural. I can't just disprove the supernatural. But people are very sensitive to tension and unspoken things.
There are a lot of unspoken people that had horrible dreams about these people.
Yeah. I mean, that just goes to show how, like, scared they were.
Yeah.
Like, how they must have been just projecting that kind of energy.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Maria was like, oh, my niños.
Oh, yeah.
My mijas have had the same.
Yeah.
No, mijos. They're boys.
Yeah.
They're from Spanish.
We speak Los Angeles Spanish.
My mijos have had the same nightmare. She'd had a similar nightmare.
Yeah, just about everybody.
So she thinks that the boys have just had a nightmare, and so to calm them down, she made them some sugar water.
Oh.
I don't understand it. Old wise tale, sure. If you like it, I love it. I'm not even going to try to break that down.
That sounds like a depression-era remedy, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like old wise tale
Like,
shit.
I can't give you brandy, but I can give you this.
Yeah. So I'm like, sure. She tried to calm him down with some sugar water. But then when she saw that both boys had wet their pants.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
She was like, this is not just a dream.
Mm.
They're 7 and 8 years old, respectively. They can hold their... They can... They're past the bedwetting phase, basically. Michael explained to Maria that he had been sleeping when 2 killers came into the room, turned on the light, and shot their parents.
Aww.
He said he couldn't see their faces, but he had watched as the pair gunned his parents down in their sleep.
Oh no.
They saw it.
Oh.
That's why I said they saw plenty.
Yeah.
But not enough to be of any evidentiary use.
Yeah.
But they saw plenty.
Oh.
Poor things.
Yeah.
Both boys then just covered up their heads, bundled into their sleeping bags, and they tried to stay as quiet and still as they could until the killers turned off the lights again and ran away.
Mm.
They had sat in the room with their parents' bodies for a few minutes, probably felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
And then they ran to Maria's apartment for help.
Mm.
Now, Maria is worried, but she is still trying to convince herself that this is a bad dream. This is a nightmare. None of these things really happened.
Yeah.
These children just had really bad dreams.
Yeah.
And the boys are grabbing at her hands, trying to drag her to the main house. Like, come see, come see.
Yeah.
Come see, then call the police. But Maria doesn't want to do either.
Mm-hmm.
If the boys are right, she doesn't want that in her head.
Yeah.
But she's equally afraid of calling the police. She doesn't want to be accused of wasting the police time if it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
So she splits the difference and tells them to call their uncle J.W., who is James's older brother.
Okay.
Matthew had the phone number memorized and called his uncle J.W. The poor kid was so freaked out he forgot how to speak English.
Oh.
Both because they do hang out with Maria,
Yeah.
both Matthew and Michael are bilingual.
Nice.
And he was so upset that he forgot how to speak English.
Oh, poor baby.
And Uncle JW does not speak Spanish. And so the other, Michael had to take the phone and explain because Matthew officially does not know how to speak English now.
Baby. Got the English scared out of him. Wow.
Yes, and all due reference, he really did.
Yeah.
Really, Jimmy Fallon.
I know, pathetic.
Jimmy Fallon is doing commercials for those weird Kingdom Royal stupid
Cell phone games. Gamble, but it's not gambling.
How the mighty have fallen.
I know. He's blackout. He's at a blackout when he did that.
The check still cleared though.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's the only way his wife will stay with him. Keep the money rolling
True story.
in.
So JW and his wife arrived to the Campbell house about 15 minutes after the call from the boys.
Mm-hmm.
When he got to the house, he saw that the driveway and the gate to the front door were wide open. Weird.
Yeah.
JW went to Maria's apartment, listened to what the boys had to say, then called the cops.
Mm-hmm.
He explained to the cops that he didn't call from his own house because he was worried that that would maybe cause some sort of false alarm. 911 knows that you're not there, so maybe they'll put it at the bottom of the list.
Maybe he's a little like he was clairvoyant. He knew in the future they would be able to trace your phone exactly and your location.
Yeah, he just said that he was worried that like if he didn't want to call from his house and cause some sort of false alarm.
Yeah.
Because he's not in the actual environment.
Yeah.
And maybe have people mistake this for a wellness check when it's much more intense than that. But after seeing the front door open and his nephews in hysterics, he was like, yeah, we're calling the police. I'm not.
Yeah.
This is wrong.
Yeah.
The police arrived at the Campbell house and they found James and Virginia's bodies during the sweep of the house. They confirmed that the couple was dead, and then they could start crime scene stuff.
Yeah.
As they were looking around, they noticed that James Campbell kept a double-barrel shotgun next to his bed.
Wow.
Never got a chance to use it.
Yeah.
The man was in a stone sleep.
Yeah. I mean, they were attacked by cowards.
Yeah.
The biggest cowards you could fucking imagine.
Quite literally did not know what hit them.
Yeah. Small mercies.
Very.
Yeah.
Very. Outside of the bodies, on the bed, there was nothing disturbed in the bedroom. James was still wearing a very expensive Rolex. His
To bed?
day. So
I'll let him have it. I just think that's a little funny.
I would have thought it was funny, but I also sleep with a smartwatch when I can't call it.
Well, your smartwatch can tell you about the night's sleep you had. That Rolex couldn't.
True.
That's a little funny.
That's just like, I'll never let it go. He's on some Burt Kreischer or something.
Right?
He's sleeping in it all
Mine.
night. But his wallet was on the nightstand as well with a few dollars in cash. Like more than $20, but not quite 300.
I mean, you would expect if it was a robbery, someone to grab it.
Exactly.
Either way, you would not leave those juicy choice items
No.
just sitting there.
The cops also found the shell casings for hollow tip bullets that the killers had used next to the bed. And the cops wondered why the killers hadn't shot the boys. But when they stood at the foot of the Campbell's bed to recreate the scene and get trajectories and all that other fun stuff, they said they noticed that from where the shooter was standing, they probably wouldn't even have noticed the boys were in the room until they were leaving.
Yeah.
Because they would have just looked like a pile of blankets on the floor. Thank God for small favors, because based on what little evidence they had, it was clear that whoever did this didn't intend to leave anybody alive.
Yeah.
And that's what saved those kids.
Yeah.
So as the crime scene people scatter around the house collecting evidence, the cops interviewed JW. JW is a lawyer as well, often shared cases with his little brother, but they mostly practice civil law, so there's no grudge.
Yeah.
Or anybody can hold a grudge if they lose, but it's a lot less likely in civil cases.
Exactly. And something like that, you would think, geez, did the mafia come after them? Or, like...
We'll talk about that later. When the cops talked to the boys, like I said earlier, they hadn't seen anything.
Yeah.
But the cops thought it was fishy that when they went to talk to Michael, he said, my daddy's a lawyer, and he said I have the right to remain silent.
Oh. That's not bad advice. That is a lawyer's son.
Yeah, he said,
it's like, you do not talk to the police without a lawyer. They are not your friends.
I have the right to remain silent, sir.
Yeah. The training starts early.
Michael's like 8.
He's just reclaiming a little bit of his power.
He knows his rights, goddammit. His
like,
daddy told
I
him.
am taking a little control over my life right now, and I don't have to answer your questions. I have a right to remain silent.
They were eventually able to get the boys to start talking. But it was clear the boys didn't see anything that would be of evidentiary value. Yeah. I mean...
Weren't they wearing masks?
Yes, Cindy and David had on masks, and they had on oversized clothes to, like, hide their shape. Yeah.
And honestly, they see their mother so little, I could see them not recognizing her, like, with a simple disguise.
Yeah, because from where the boys would have been, it would have just looked like a big guy and a little guy. Yeah. Because the clothes that Cindy was wearing were all so oversized that she just would have looked like a short, fat dude. Yeah. Her hair would have been in a hat. Mm-hmm. And David, his clothes were equally oversized, so he just would have looked like a tall, thick dude. Yeah. And that's all the kids got. Mm. Because they did wear masks.
Big guy, little guy.
Yeah, that's all they can say. And when the cops interviewed Maria, they asked if there had been any problems in the family. And Maria's like, Cindy is the problem in the family. These are loving, hardworking, kind, decent people. Mm-hmm. Except for that fucking Cindy. Cindy is the problem in the family.
They probably barely got that question out. Cindy! It was Cindy. She's the problem.
You know, we'll talk about it more. Even though a lot of people point to Cindy as being a problem, nobody wants to believe it was her.
Mm. Yeah, it's awful and gross, and And if we've learned nothing from covering all these cases, people like to lie to themselves. Yes. And they like to feel like, no, my world is normal and regular.
I'm fine. This is fine. We're all fine.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So as the cops are trying to sort out who had killed the Campbells and why, David and Cindy were cleaning up. Mm. David had already sorted out that the party that they would use as an alibi. It was an after-hours rockabilly event.
God, of course.
Why I was so annoyed to find out that he's a rockabilly fan.
I know, right?
Because I like a little rockabilly punk here and there, a little rockabilly goth, little gothabilly, little metal billy. Like, I like a little...
A little Billy. We all want a little Billy in us.
Little twang, little twang.
Meow, meow.
Yeah, a little upright bass.
Yeah, but sometimes it does attract the most obnoxious, insufferable douchebags.
The ones that are pining for a world that never existed.
And who like rockabilly for all the wrong reasons.
Exactly.
You're no punk.
Fuckers. So it was a rockabilly event, and David knew a few people there. He's a big rockabilly fan. I hate that I share stuff in common with some of these people. It's like, no. Go listen to Conway Twitty or something. Leave me alone. Yeah.
Like country and western, he could have had that.
But not the good one. I'll give him country pop. I have no use for country pop. Yeah. Real country, like the Dolly Parton,
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, like real, like the Big Mama Thornton. Yeah. Like real country. I like. Yeah. Not all of it, but there's good shit to be had there.
It's some outlaw country or just like good old country.
Yeah, but he gets country pop.
Yes.
He can have country pop. I won't. Even if country's not my favorite.
Polka.
Polka's fun.
No, mariachi's better.
You know what? No.
Oh, no.
Polka's... No, he can't have polka. It's too... You know why?
Why?
Polka's too ethnic for him.
Oh my God, isn't it? You're right.
Polka is too ethnic for David West.
It is. Rockabilly is.
Opa!
Oh,
one day we're going to cover the Polka King.
Yay, I'm here for it.
Jan Levan. I like Jan Levan. He cracks me up.
Excellent. Coming to a podcast near you.
Anyway, enough about that. I'll derail myself talking about polka. All things. So when Cindy and David got to this rockabilly party, it was kind of breaking up, but they knew enough people there that their presence would have been known.
Mm-hmm.
And since the band was rocking and the booze were flowing, nobody would know what time they showed up, when exactly they showed up, how long they had been there. People would just be able to say that they were there.
Yeah.
Which is really all they needed.
Yeah. I hate to hand it to them. That was a good plan.
Yeah. After the party, they ended up at a diner with some other friends, and on the way home, Cindy got worried about dropping the glove.
God, I don't know why I kind of expected it to be. She got worried about her boys.
No.
I know.
She dropped the glove when she was running away.
Yeah.
And David was like, bitch, if you don't fuck that glove, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Silly heifer. Fuck that glove.
Yeah.
While the cops were searching the house, they did find the glove because a cop stepped on it.
As you do.
But by this time, David wasn't worried too much about the glove being found. He figured they were both so nervous, especially Cindy, that their hands were sweaty inside of that leather. Inside of, like, they had on a rubber glove on top of a plastic glove inside of gloves. Right? So...
Are we sure there wasn't a layer of aluminum? Jesus.
Right, so they had, like, a plastic, like, lunch lady glove.
Yeah.
With, like, a latex glove underneath and then, like, a glove. So he figured they were both really nervous and sweaty, Cindy especially. So even if they could try to pull a print off of that glove, it would probably be useless because it would just be covered in ink.
Yeah.
And be smudged with sweat.
And this was before DNA was invented.
Right, and this is like 81, 82, so they didn't quite have the technology to make that work for them. So he wasn't as stressed out about the glove as Cindy was. Back at home, they took baths to wash off any gunshot residue and work on committing the names of the people that they had spoken to memory.
Oh, God. Okay.
Well, they'd have to be able to say, yeah, I ran into Wiki and Dickie and Sticky and Mickey.
Yeah.
So, while David and Cindy were cleaning up, Maria was telling the cops about all the trouble that Cindy had been causing in the family, along with her no-good boyfriend, David.
Oh, my God. Yay! I'm glad she brought David into it, too.
And Maria was even kind enough to give the cops Cindy's address.
Yeah.
You killed her loved ones.
Right?
She ain't playing.
She knows. She knows. The others may not want to think it was her, but she knows.
You know, it's not all Catholicisms, but Latin Catholicism is real close to witchcraft.
It's the closest. It is.
And the rosaries that she had been saying to get the demons out of Cindy can be turned into roots real quick.
Yeah, true.
Gonna plant some demons on you.
Exactly. Talking demons. Spying demons.
Man.
Vengeful demons!
Did I tell you? And this has been tripping me out for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I just found out that in some regions, priests come to people's houses. and they give blessings at your house at Easter.
This has to be in Europe.
In Italy.
Not yes! The super Catholics.
I just learned that.
They are so extra Catholic.
That is so fucking shady.
I know. Knock knock. Time to tithe.
No, And I've decided that's how demons get in your house. Think about it.
Oh my god.
The priest comes. He plants a demon for Easter.
Yes.
By summer, your demon has hatched.
Yes.
And that gives you a whole bunch of fucking exorcisms that you can perform by fall.
The checks just write themselves.
I see you, Vatican. Planting demons in people's house so you can exorcise them later. I see how the sausage is made now, motherfuckers.
There's no grift like a Catholic grift.
Like, that's how... I don't know why it's so weird to me. I would be so weirded out if this, like, a priest came to my house, like, ready for your blessing. I'd be like, ah!
I know, that would be stranger than, like, Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses. It's like, I know that you're out, like, you know, selling your Christ cookies.
Yeah, like, the Mormons and the J-Dubs actually expect me to slam the door in their face.
But, like, a priest has some authority. It's like, what are you doing here?
It's like,
what? Have you come for me? What?
Let you out here planting demons. I see you, heifer. I see you. I see you for your works, Father Exorcism.
Right?
I see you.
And faith without works is dead.
I see you. So the cops go to Cindy's apartment, and when they knocked on the door, Nanny Helen came out because she's across the hall from Cindy. And she wanted to know what all the fuss is about.
Oh, poor Nanny.
She told the cops you can't go into Cindy's apartment. She's not there. They broke in anyway. They were looking for anything that could connect Cindy to the gun or the ammo that had been used to kill her parents. They were able to get the caliber of gun from the shell casings, which had like some rifling marks and things on them. So if they found the gun, they could match it for ballistics.
Yeah.
But when the cops walked into the apartment, they were all trying to remember, when was the last time I had my tetanus shot?
Oh, God. Yeah.
I had one recently.
On this episode of Hoarders. Oh, yeah, that had to be like... that's one of the times where they really earn their salary. They really do. It's like, brother, better you than me.
Ugh. Yeah, it's cat poop, dog piss everywhere.
It's filth.
Molded food.
Ew.
Half-drink beers.
Yeah.
Smoldering cigarettes.
Yeah. Oh my God, the cigarettes.
And then, like, random bits of her artwork.
Yeah, that's right.
The cops were especially weirded out because there were more than a few sketches where she had clearly been sitting on the floor naked in front of a mirror and sketched out her own vaginas.
Makes you really appreciate Georgia O'Keeffe.
And then, like, in the center of the vaginas was, like, a couple or...
Yeah.
But it was clear that she'd been sitting on the floor more than one occasion and just drawing out her vajayjay.
Oh, my God.
And then putting stuff in the center of it. It's like, okay.
Man. Yeah.
And so while the cops are looking around Cindy's filthy apartment, Nanny Helen managed to push her way in and demanded to know why they were going through her granddaughter's things. And that was when the cops had to slow their roll.
Yeah.
And told Nanny Helen that James and her daughter Virginia had been killed.
Oh, poor lady. What an awful... Well, there's no good way to find out.
It hit the old woman like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
But Nanny Helen wasn't so depressed that I saw Cindy around 8:30 this evening. Yes, she'd been home around 8:30. And she gave me a phone number where she could be reached in case of an emergency. Oh, Nanny Helen giving it all up.
Good for you, Nanny Helen.
But when the cops called the number, some random man cussed them out for calling his house in the middle of the night.
Well.
Cindy gave Nanny Helen a fake phone number because she figured that the cops would go to her apartment.
Yeah.
They would push their way in, and she just wanted to fuck with people.
Yeah.
And just made up some number.
That is dumb.
She's dumb. Jeannie.
Yes.
There has to be a morning after.
Oh my god. Oh, I can't remember the rest of the song, but
That's all that matters.
that truly.
And it's the Saturday after the murders.
Mm.
David and Cindy had a brunch date with Cecilia.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta go to Mom's for brunch.
Celebrate, yeah.
David's mother hugged them both tightly, especially Cindy,
Oh god.
because she loved seeing those kids together. Oh, Cindy's the one.
Yes, my mini-me, you must marry my son.
She wants David to marry Cynthia Campbell Ray yesterday.
Weird.
And even that's almost too late.
That is so weird.
She wanted David to propose to Cindy 6 months ago. She knows she can't make him,
Yeah.
but it is very clear what she wants.
Yeah. I can encourage the kids.
In one conversation, Cecilia played like she was like, "When are you gonna pull the trigger? Cindy's the one. Cindy's the one."
Yeah, don't let her get away.
David's pushing back, and she flat out said, "Where are you gonna find another Cindy?
Good God. Hopefully
She's an
no-
angel.
from hell.
She's the demon that the priest
Fallen
plants and
angel.
waits to."
Yes. Yeah, the fallen angel.
For the most part, David agreed, but after what had just went down the night before, he proposing is not a good idea. Because he agrees that Cindy is the one.
Really?
He does. But he also isn't in a rush to get married or do anything that his mother actively wants him to.
Right.
But he didn't share the idea of why
Yeah.
with his mother. That day, David couldn't eat. He'd been listening to police scanners, the news all morning, listening for news about the Campbells. But he calmed himself down because he was worried that if he's too uptight, Cindy's going to get uptight. And if she gets uptight, she's just going to spiral.
True.
Out of control, irrational thinking, like nothing good could come from a Cindy Campbell that has had too much to think.
Oh my God. I'm enjoying this cold dread of his.
He's just like,
Good.
I
Suffer.
just, okay. I'm just going to sit here alone with my anxiety.
Be cool.
After brunch, Cecilia and David took Cindy to her apartment. She had to go get something. Cindy loses her keys all the time, so her front door is never locked.
Oh my God.
Fun. But that's okay. The place is disgusting. Don't nobody want shit out of there.
True. That is a security system in itself.
Yeah. David's like, one day she's gonna come home and everything that she owns is gonna be. No, it's not. Even
She wishes.
the best thief would take one whiff inside of there and be like, and I'm done here.
Yeah. Nothing in here is worth it.
So they waited outside for a few minutes before Cindy came outside running, screaming, "Someone has been in my apartment."
How could she tell?
Her trash had been disturbed. Girl. Her trash had been
Oh,
disturbed.
man.
David went in to look, but along with the usual garbage that was all over Cindy's place, there were some cabinets and drawers left open that, like, basically, to the uninitiated, it's all trash and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But Cindy and David know the level of trash and the few things that she does clean up or close
Okay.
are open.
Yeah. The few things she keeps tidy or untidy. Disorder, disorder, disorder.
Exactly. So that's why they're like, okay, yeah, definitely someone has been here. In his gut, David knew it had been the cops. But he wasn't sure how they got on their trail so fast. Even outside of Eva Marie is like, Cindy's a problem.
Right?
Everybody's saying, Cindy's
Cindy.
a problem.
Who would do this? Cindy. And her weird boyfriend.
As they were leaving the building, David ran into Nanny Helen, and the old woman looked like she had been crying
Well,
as she told David the police had been there. Cindy had been lurking in the hallway when Nanny Helen came out just to hiss at the old woman.
Oh my gosh. Like a reject from the possums. Yeah. Because possums are cool. I think they would reject her.
And that's when Nanny Helen told Cindy that her parents had been killed by burglars.
Poor Nanny Helen.
Cindy went limp, threw out her arms, and wailed. Oh, I'm so sad. Sadness.
Yes.
Sad. She's very upset.
Okay, Meryl Streep. Tell us how you really feel.
No, David was impressed by Cindy's acting job. She hugged Grandma Helen, and the two collapsed into each other's arms.
Aww.
And Nanny Helen's all there, and Cindy's all, Mama!
Ooh.
Yeah. And David's feeling good that the cops think that it's burglars. He likes this.
That works for him.
At some point in the wee hours, Betty had been notified about her parents' death and made the drive from Houston to Austin with her husband. Michelle, who is also near Austin, and Jamie, who's still in Tennessee, are also making their way home.
Yeah.
So this is all happening at like 4 a.m. By 6 a.m. The other three sisters are getting...
That is so awful to be woken up in the middle of the night for
the
that.
wee hours of the early morning. It's a Sunday.
Yeah, you're absolutely just, like, vulnerable and not on your guard. I don't know. I feel like if it was the middle of the day, they would be a little bit braced for it. But it's not like, no, the dead of night.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever brace for it, but in the day, you would at least have some of your faculties.
Yeah, you have your clothes on, shoes.
Yeah.
You're not just, like, in bed.
And your brain's not clouded from sleep.
Exactly.
So
there's no good time, but that just seems awful.
Yeah. As they were driving to Houston, remember I think Houston to Austin's like a 3-4 hour drive, something like that.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
A couple hours.
Because I think like Austin's kind of between Dallas and Houston.
Yeah.
And like Texas is big.
Like it's not a bad driving distance, but it's a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's not like the California to Arizona drive where it's like 6+ hours, or southern and northern California is like 6 hours and some change.
Yeah.
Like, but more like a 3.5 some odd hour drive.
Like a morning drive.
While they were driving, Betty's husband Richard quickly transferred from the grieving phase to the anger phase of grief. Betty and Michelle arrived in first because they were still at least in Austin.
Yeah.
Jamie takes a little bit later because she's in Tennessee. Drivable, but she took a flight.
Yeah.
8-hour flight, or not even 8 hours, but a day at the airport on standby versus days of driving.
Yeah. And you don't want to be alone in your car.
That's too much to think.
Yeah.
Cindy did not come to the house.
She's so dumb.
The only time the rest of the family saw Cindy was when she made an appearance at Uncle JW's house, where she said she wanted to grieve with her sisters.
Ugh. Did they buy it?
Ish.
They were civil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Uncle JW at that point announced that he's the executor of the estate. None of the girls could bring themselves to go into the bedroom to clean up their parents' blood.
Oh, God, right?
They all stayed in the family home, with the exception of Cindy. The other 3 girls, when they converge on Houston, they all stay in their childhood bedrooms.
Wow. Ooh.
Which are upstairs and down the hall, or downstairs and up the hall from where their parents were killed. And unfortunately, crime scene stuff does not include cleanup.
No.
So the blood, the black powder from the fingerprints, all of it's still there.
Yeah.
And since none of the girls could bring themselves to go into that bedroom to clean, although Cindy, get your fat ass in there.
Right.
Anyway, in the end, that job fell to Maria and Betty's husband, Richard.
Oh, Maria, bless your heart.
Maria felt that Senora would not want to leave the house that way.
Yeah.
And the least that she could do.
Yeah, to help the girls.
And to give Virginia one last, I guess, parting gift.
Yeah.
Would be to clean up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's sad.
That's rough. She's a good person. So is Richard.
They probably weren't happy. I'm sure a lot of tears were shed as they cleaned. But they got it up. They handled it. Because the girls could not.
Yeah, no, of course not.
That night, the Campbell girls all slept in their childhood bedrooms. And clung to their husbands.
Aww.
Those that had, only two of them were married. Just Betty and Michelle. Jamie's still single. But they clung to their husbands, childhood toys, memories, whatever they could, and all cried themselves to sleep that night.
Yeah. They're all still very young women still. Like, they're all in their 20s, right? Just about.
Yeah. Jamie being the youngest, she's like 22, 23.
Yeah.
Let's say Michelle is the oldest, is even 30.
Yeah. That is young to lose your parents.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, tragic orphan. Just like, oh, you should have had a whole lot more Christmases with your mom and dad.
Yeah, you could have made it to at least 60.
Yeah.
Before you had to deal with this.
Exactly. It's like your kids should know the grandparents.
Yeah, Michelle has a 2-year-old. I think she's the only one with kids right now, but she's a 2-year-old.
Well, the boys.
I mean, yes, but
of the normal sisters.
Of the regular sisters.
The regular sisters. My God, it's like the reverse Cinderella. It's like 3 normal sisters and the 1 evil stepsister.
And right, but she's not a step. She's just, we don't know why she's like this. She just is.
She's just broken, Lord.
That Sunday, the cops came by the family home to talk to the Campbell sisters. All of them said that they didn't know who would want to hurt their parents. But yet they all seemed nervous that Cindy wasn't there. The cops finally came out with it. Could Cindy have done it?
Good
Straight up.
Yeah.
Jamie is adamant that Cindy is too dependent on their parents. Like, why would... No, Cindy's a bad seed, but she wouldn't do this because if she kills mama and daddy, she ain't got shit. Yeah. She can't support herself. She don't know how to work. She barely knows how to wash and wipe her own ass.
True.
Where would she be without mama and daddy?
Yeah. That's a good rationalization.
It is. It's solid.
It truly is. I don't blame her.
Cindy and David finally showed up late morning, early afternoon. They finally showed up looking hungover.
Oh.
They were.
Yeah.
They partied, you know.
Yeah.
When they went out on their alibi tour, they didn't abstain from partying.
Yeah.
Like, they played the part of, hey, after hours, let's get it. I bet
it settled the nerves a little, too.
Probably. Cindy said that she would answer any questions after coffee. The cops asked Cindy if her ex-husband could have killed her parents. But Cindy said the last that she had heard that guy had moved to Philly. When he hadn't. Then they asked Cindy if there was any truth to the rumors that the Campbells were trying to adopt her boys. Get permanent legal custody. She was like, nope. Hadn't heard nothing about that.
That would require her caring about her kids enough to find out.
Then Cindy said that David had driven her to see her parents the Friday before, earlier in the day, because she borrowed $10 from her mama. Cindy was doing her best to be helpful, but she set the cops' teeth on edge.
Yeah.
There's something about her they don't like.
Yeah.
They don't like her. And for his part, David seemed too bored. Like, he just went in the living room and started watching TV.
Yeah.
And he was very bored and lackadaisical.
Yeah.
Where all the other husbands, boyfriends, whatever, are in the kitchen with the sisters, holding their hands,
Yeah.
loving on them. Do you need some water, babe? Let me get you a tissue.
Yeah.
Maria, calm down. Like,
Yeah.
they're acting how you would expect
Yeah.
a supportive partner to
Yeah. Yeah.
And David just went to go watch TV. In the end, the cops thought David and Cindy had something to do with it, but they couldn't prove it.
Yeah. Unfortunate. But their instincts are so on to this.
If only you could arrest somebody for the vibes.
I know. I mean, on one hand, boo. On the other hand, thank God.
Right?
Do you know how many people I would have arrested by now?
We would all be arrested at this point if it was all about the vibes.
Right.
Because at any given moment, you're putting out a vibe that somebody doesn't like.
Exactly. That person is up to no good.
On the way home from the meeting with the Campbell sisters, David and Cindy stopped off to get the day's paper.
Mm-hmm.
When David got to the house, he was pleased to see that they had made the headlines.
Ew, yeah. Jerk.
But then the pleasure about the headline was immediately dampened when he realized for the first time that the kids had been in the room. He did not know.
Thank God.
They were in the room when he shot them.
Yeah.
When he shot the Campbells. And when he asked Cindy about it, he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because the paper is talking about the Friday night ritual.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was a normal night. The kids slept in their grandparents' room because that was their thing. And David is shook. He's like, what the fuck? What? Is it true that this is what your parents did with them every Friday night?
Mm-hmm.
And why wouldn't you tell me? Why would you let me traumatize your children?
Right. Because she doesn't care.
Cindy wasn't worried, but she did apologize
Oh.
for not telling David. And honestly, the reality is, like you said, Cindy doesn't spend enough time with her kids or her parents to know anything about their day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
She didn't care, she didn't know.
Yeah.
So she honestly had no way of knowing. She wouldn't have expected those kids to be in there either.
Yeah.
If she gave a good goddamn and checked in every now and again, maybe she would have said, let's do it on a Saturday.
Yeah. Ugh. I know those lucky kids keeping their little heads down.
David was further shook when the paper said that the murders were committed by somebody that wanted the Campbells dead, while knowing that the kids may have some idea who had killed their grandparents.
Ooh. I hope he shot a brick.
The cops had also now ditched the burglary.
Dun dun dun.
That all made David nervous.
Yeah.
But he set aside that nervous energy because the papers described the Campbells as decent, loving people, and you know that ain't true.
Yeah. Fake news!
Yeah, he was very put out.
How dare they?
By them being described as decent people. Hell no, I gotta figure out what to do with these fucking boys.
Oh, don't say it like that. Not these fucking boys.
Oh, I mean,
what do we do with these poor orphans?
Yeah, they're orphans.
Oh my god, almost like double orphans. Like first orphaned by like neglect and just dysfunction. Second orphaned by violence.
Yeah.
These poor boys.
So the Campbells were laid to rest 3 days after they were killed.
Mm.
As Jamie, Betty, and Michelle got ready for the memorial, one of the girls made a call to the cops to let them know that the boys would not be attending the funeral.
Yeah.
They felt it was too much.
Yeah.
Too much. So the cops decided they could check for more evidence and maybe see if they could jog the boys' memories a bit more. And they volunteered to babysit.
Wow. You know what? That's actually a great idea. I think like kids who've gone through that, it would feel really like good and secure to have the cops mind you.
Just take care of you for a couple hours.
Because yeah, I could imagine them being alone with like any other stranger, with like the family at the funeral.
Yeah, because of course Maria went to the funeral.
Yeah.
I don't think they would be able to be left alone with anybody that wasn't Maria or the three sisters or a cop without having a meltdown.
Yeah.
So the day before the funeral, Michelle had called the cops and told them that Jamie had confessed to her two oldest sisters that she had had a conversation with Cindy where Cindy had said that she wanted to kill their father. Remember that conversation from episode 1?
Yes.
Like, we should just kill Daddy.
Ugh.
And that conversation happened maybe 18 months before the actual murders went down. At first, Jamie didn't want to tell the cops about that conversation.
Yeah.
That's why when the cops first interviewed them, Jamie was so nervous.
Yeah.
Because she knew about that conversation. Clearly, she was there. But it was just too much.
Yeah.
But she told her older sisters.
Good.
Who in turn tell the cops.
Good. Yes. Sometimes you need your big to help you out.
And yeah, Jamie was like, no, Cindy is evil.
Yeah.
But she ain't this.
Yeah.
That's why Jamie was the one who was like, no, she's dependent on them. She ain't got no money. She ain't got nothing without mama and daddy.
Yeah.
But Michelle figured that this was information that the cops needed to have.
Yeah. Good call.
And sadly, babysitting the boys yielded no fruit.
Yeah.
They didn't know any more or any less than what they'd already told them. They let the boys lead them around the house as they're sweeping for evidence.
Yeah.
Show me this room. Show me that room.
Yeah.
Like, kind of making it sort of a game.
Yeah.
But they were sweeping the house for evidence, and there was nothing else there.
Very clever.
David decided that it was best for him to go to this funeral with Cindy. Make sure she showed the right amount of grief and didn't overdo it.
Jesus Christ. Stage managing your crazy not girlfriend's emotions at her parents' funeral.
Whew, girl. And I've been burying a lead for all this time, but I do think from the minute Cindy met David West, this was her plan.
Yeah.
From the minute she said, I don't know, he'd be good to beat people up.
Yeah.
This is what she wanted.
Yeah, she is such a manipulative user. Yeah, I can see it.
Whew, feels good. I've been burying the lead.
Holding on to that.
But yeah, I honestly think that Cindy saw David as a mark.
Yeah.
And the minute she saw him and knew it was only a matter of time before she wore him down and could get him to kill her parents. Betty's husband, his name is Richard, I believe, suspected that Cindy and David had something to do with what happened to his in-laws. He turned all of Cindy's drama through his mind over the years. All the running away, the delusions, the general troublemaking. But he put his thoughts aside. He was like, you know what, I'm going to just let the cops cop.
A good choice at a funeral.
Yeah. The Campbell girls were worried that whoever had broken in and killed their parents may come back. So they were happy to have the cops watch the boys in the house while they were at the funeral.
Yeah.
Cold comfort.
Yeah.
After the cops had arrived, Betty's husband let Cindy and David in when they knocked on the front door, because they're all going to go to the funeral together.
Yeah.
As they walked in, one of the cops made a mental note. This is the second time he has seen Cindy come to the house and go to the front door. Everybody else in the family uses the side door off the kitchen.
Huh.
Why is she acting like she didn't grow up here?
Yeah.
Why is she acting like she doesn't know the customs and the things of this house? It's almost like you're going out of your way to make it look like you don't know where anything is. It could never have been you because you don't know where anything is. Huh.
I'm just company. I'm not an inmate.
But this is her childhood home.
Yeah.
James and Virginia never downsized, so there would be no reason for Cindy to not know about the custom of using the side door.
I know, that is strange. That is very performative.
And this side door is so well worn that there are like race car stripes.
Yeah.
Like 2 indentations in the carpet.
Yeah.
Because everybody goes in and out that way.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the same well-worn carpet in the front. Mental note, they just filed it away. At the funeral, Cindy was sad and she cried.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some people in attendance that said Cindy looked like she was laughing inside.
Oh, weird.
Oh, she's doing, oh, woe is me. Oh, daddy. Daddy. Is the vibe that they're getting from her.
Ooh, that had to be so unsettling.
For his part, David was disappointed that the funeral wasn't open casket.
Oh my God.
Ask me why.
Why?
He wanted to check his marksmanship.
Oh, gross.
It's like, you fucking Momo. Even if it was open casket, it wouldn't be all fucking bullet wounds, you fucking stupid sack of shit.
You tell him.
They would have had on clothes. They
Exactly.
would have put on makeup. They would have filled
whatever.
The bullet holes in their faces and heads would have been filled. You would not have seen it, you dumb, goofy, two-tone-eyed motherfucker.
Ghoul. Yeah, that's ghoulish as fuck.
Yeah, he wanted to check his marksmanship.
Trash!
After the funeral, Uncle JW told the girls that they all had to go to the police station to give elimination fingerprints and their formal statements.
Mm-hmm.
It's only been 3 days.
Yeah.
And this is normal. If something goes left in your house and the cops come, they do take fingerprints from everybody in the house to make
They should.
Well, how are you going to know who's supposed to be there
Yeah.
and who's not supposed to be there?
Exactly.
Cindy's scared to go to the cops alone. So David decides he will follow the family to the station so that he looks like a supportive boyfriend.
Yeah.
All 4 sisters go in like the same limo that took them to the funeral.
Yeah.
Is the same limo that takes them
to
the police station.
That's funny. Arriving at the station in a limousine.
I mean, but at the same time, it makes sense.
It does, but like, how often do they see that?
Probably not.
I know, right? There's so much weird, bizarre things in this case.
Yeah, so like the hearse limo thing.
Yeah.
Not quite the hearse, but I feel like
I know exactly what you mean.
I feel like the limo that you take to a funeral is not the same as a regular limo.
Bring out the mourning limo, not the celebrating limo.
Yeah.
Not the prom limo.
Yeah, not the party limo.
That should be like that.
Because the funeral limo doesn't have like TV, it doesn't have booze, it might have some water.
We need tissues.
Yeah, it's got like
tissues and water.
Yeah.
And mints.
Yeah, like, maybe some snacks, but other than that, it's
a little more low key.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Not the one with the disco ball.
But it'll get 6 or 7 people someplace in one go.
Yeah.
So yeah, they took the funeral limo to the police station.
Man, this is so Texas fabulous.
Well, that's how you could get all 4 girls and 2 husbands in one place.
Yeah. After a funeral.
Yeah. I know, it's weird, but it also makes the most sense.
It does, but I can just picture it.
So David followed because he wanted to look like a supportive boyfriend.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be in the limo with them.
Yeah.
He could have fit.
Ugh.
He just didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And since he was at the station, the cops were able to question David as well.
Bonus.
In his statement, David told the cops that on the night of the murders, he and Cindy had partied, went to a few bars, came home, had sex, then went to that rockabilly thing,
Yeah.
and then to a diner, came home, had more sex, went to sleep.
Ugh.
Ever the gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
David asked the cops to leave the sex part out of the official report.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. It's important for me to know that you know that I am a successful sex haver. But I would ask you to be gentlemen and leave it out of the paperwork, please.
Yes. Know that I got my dick wet twice today.
My God. Oh my God.
It's like, if you don't want it in the report, just don't tell them about that part. Real easy.
I know. Ugh.
Real easy.
Also, like, I could just imagine the looks on their face where he's like, well, we went to some bars, and then we went to a party, and then we came home, had some sex, and then we went out to some more bar. I'd be like, really?
Like, how bad was that sex that you wanted to go to another bar after?
Yeah. But good enough you came back to have some more, and then go out again.
It's all stinky and greasy.
Yes.
Then David said that they went to that other party around 3 a.m. and had breakfast. David said that he wished he knew more, and he really wanted to help, but he would be in touch if he thought of anything else.
Get me out of here.
For her part, Cindy said that she last saw her parents the Friday before the murders when she borrowed $10 from Mama. Next, Cindy said that she and David had went to the movies to go see E.T., but it was sold out. No one said anything at the time, but it was lost on no one that Cindy and David's stories do not match.
Ooh, dun dun dun.
David wasn't specific enough with her. Originally, they were going to go to the movies to go see E.T.,
Yeah.
but it was sold out. So then that's when they went to the bar. David didn't explicitly say, leave out the E.T. part
Yeah.
and just talk about the bars.
Yeah.
Because she's a fucking idiot, she leaves it in.
Thank you, Lord.
And that's why their stories don't match.
Good. All the little things. Keep them suspicious. Keep that their antennae going.
Yes.
Twitch, twitch.
5 days after the murders, the Campbell girls were sitting in the kitchen of the family home discussing the estate. Uncle J.W. is the executor and offered to let the girls take whatever keepsakes they wanted from the home before everything goes into storage.
Yeah.
While Betty, Michelle, and Jamie wanted to take keepsakes, paintings, rugs,
Yeah.
a piano,
Yeah.
art, jewelry, things that had sentimental value. Cindy said, I'll take that TV,
Oh my
the
God.
VCR, and all of the electronics.
Oh my God.
Things that would sell
Yeah.
easy. Cindy also laid claim to the family liquor cabinet. The girls offered some keepsakes to Maria, but all the poor housekeeper could do was cry. She didn't want to take anything.
Oh, yeah.
They did like, would you like Mama's gold necklace? Would you like
Yeah.
Daddy's pinky ring? Because
Very
she is
sweet,
part
yeah.
of their family. And Maria couldn't bring herself to take anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
David asked if he could have a French English dictionary. He'd love to go to Paris one day.
Oh my God. Ugh. You like, get your filthy hands off anything.
All of these girls, their lips are just like straight lines, just
Yeah.
grimacing.
What are you doing in this house?
As the girls were taking their keepsakes, Uncle J.W. told them that he still hadn't found a current copy of the will. Michelle had been able to find a list of bank accounts and insurance information with her mom's things. It was an incomplete list, but it would work for now until they found the actual will. And based on that paperwork, Uncle JW estimated that the estate would be worth $1.5 million.
Wow.
Could be more, could be less.
True.
But he needed to get some appraisals done and a few other things. But just based on like the bank accounts and the insurance information that Michelle had been able to find, that's what he's looking at. Cindy looked annoyed about the value of the estate.
How dare she?
She was like, really? 1 point. Cindy thinks her half should be anywhere in the neighborhood of $3 to $5 million.
Wow.
That's what she
Delulu.
thinks her share should be. That's how much money she thinks her parents have. Are her parents wealthy? Yes. Would we consider them millionaires? Yes.
Yeah.
But they are new money.
Yeah.
They are the first peg of generational wealth.
True.
The other girls and their children have to make good before anybody's worth $5 million.
True. Yeah.
And none of that's happened yet. The girls are just up. The three normal ones are really just launching.
Yeah. And honestly, $1.5 million in one for a lifetime, not bad.
Oh, it's not bad, but Cindy is
deluded.
very deluded about how much money her parents actually have. But Michelle, always the simple, Michelle, always being the sensible one. She's not simple, she's sensible. Had made mention to her sisters that the Houston real estate market was on the upswing, and if they held on to their parents' real estate for a year or two, they would maybe see some bigger returns.
Yeah.
Like, there's the house that they're in now, the family home. The parents also owned a lake house.
Yeah, makes sense.
That apartment building, and like 5 or 6 other pieces of real estate.
Yeah.
By this time, the 2 oldest girls are married with children of their own. And Jamie would now have to sort out how to finish paying for her education.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So hanging on to the real estate for a while would be the best move. As Michelle said, quote, they have more people to support than just themselves.
Yeah.
The 3 Campbell sisters agreed to the plan. Because they're thinking, okay, we got to take care of Cindy's boys. We got to make sure Nanny Helen is still taken care of.
Yes.
Cindy's a wasteoid, but we got to do something with her.
Yeah.
You know, like how
Gotta keep her off the street.
Right, and make sure that her boys have something for their future because Lord knows Cindy ain't gonna do it.
True.
And Mama and Daddy definitely would have provided an education and everything for them just like they did their girls.
Yeah.
So the 3 sane Campbell sisters agreed to this plan. It is a solid plan.
Yes, absolutely.
But when they asked Cindy told them that they had a lot of nerve.
Oh, she has some nerve. Talk about nerve.
You have the nerve, the unmitigated gall to tell me how I'm going to spend my money?
Right?
You bitches.
She just is fit to be tied, I'm sure.
Michelle tried to get Cindy to see reason. She did. She explained on top of paying for Jamie's school and leaving a little something for their own growing families, they would also need money to take care of Nanny Helen, provide for Cindy's kids.
Yeah.
Cindy just grabbed David and let's go, David. Nah. And slammed the door. She left the house. Slammed the door.
Trash.
Michelle opened that door and was like, fuck you, Cindy. If you don't want our help, raise those goddamn kids yourself.
Ooh. Don't do that to those children.
No, that's fair.
True.
She is actively refusing their help. Part of the reason of holding on to this real estate is to help Cindy raise her children.
Yes.
They know that Cindy wants nothing to do with the day-to-day of raising them.
Yeah.
And they know that they're probably going to have to kick in and do something to help their nephews.
Yeah.
The one thing they can do is put away some college money.
Yeah.
Start some sort of a trust to give these kids a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
In life, they're 7 and 8. They're going to need a lot of shit over the next 10 years.
That's so true.
So if you don't want that help, fuck you, go raise little bastards yourself. Go. Do it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at Michelle for that one.
Okay.
That is completely fair.
Yeah. Especially in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
the reality of it is, the cold reality is those children have no business being left alone with Cindy.
Yeah.
But in
that
her
moment-
in her grief and her anger, fuck you.
Yeah.
Raising your goddamn self then.
How do you like that?
Back at the station, the detectives are trying to sort out their next move in the Campbell case, when they got a call from a very hysterical Michelle.
Oh.
Cindy and David had come back to the house and they were taking the boys.
Oh.
Kicking and screaming.
Oh, those poor boys.
They do not want to go.
Oh my God.
Michelle told the cops that little Michael had to be pulled away from the walls. He's hanging on like a cat.
Oh. Yeah. Good for him. Good boy.
And based on those boys' reactions, Michelle is now completely convinced that Cindy had something to do with the murder of their parents.
Yeah, I wondered. Like, I was thinking, like, is that, like, does the shoe start to drop when she, like, storms out, finding out about, like, how the process is going to go? I would feel like that's a moment where, like, oh.
I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but they're constantly waffling.
Yeah,
On
that
the one
makes sense.
hand, the way Cindy moves and how she reacts to things is like, yeah, bitch, you did it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, that is still their sister.
Yeah.
And they don't want to believe it.
Yeah. Like, the brain knows, but the heart does not want to accept
Remember,
this.
they're better than their parents at loving her from afar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But unlike their parents, they are not afraid of the smoke.
Yeah.
So they don't want to believe it, but I think they're ready to if someone gives them enough reason.
Yeah.
And the boys' reaction is enough reason for Michelle to believe it. Betty and Jamie are still a little more waffly.
Yeah.
They
But
will
Michelle knows them.
right. They will each have their fuck
Yeah.
moment. This just happens to be Michelle's. Michael had screamed on the entire drive to David's house.
Wow.
When they got inside, Michael stopped screaming, probably because he was shocked by how filthy this place was.
Oh.
And remember,
He didn't want to open his mouth and let that smell and the... Ugh.
Cindy's house is disgusting with the cat feces and
Yeah.
everything all over the place. David's house is just as bad, only without the moldy food and stuff.
Oh, man.
Remember, he's not doing any
That's
repairs.
right.
He's not doing anything to this house. So
It's
he's
just ramshackle.
He's got rats.
Mhm.
He's got roaches. He's got pests. The foundation needs work. Like,
Yeah.
he's living in a ramshackle shack, basically, like you said.
Oh, those poor kids.
So I think Michael's just like, what in the homeless hell
Yeah. Just shock.
is what shut him up. But not to worry. Matthew picks up the screaming
Good for
where
you,
Michael
Matthew.
left off.
Don't let those assholes sleep or have a moment of peace.
David tried to get the kids to shut up by mocking them for being crybabies. Oh, where, you don't like my hair.
What? Man, I can't. I can't run him. No.
That
No.
didn't work. Cindy tried to comfort her sons, but they don't want her either.
Get away. Get away.
And all of this crying is making David see red.
What a jackhole.
But not for the reasons you think.
Why?
Normally, kids crying like that, you think, oh, you're pissed because it's like nails with a chalkboard.
You're bothered.
No, he's mad because he feels their crying is them judging him.
Oh God, he's a bigger asshole than I
He
thought.
thinks that these children who have just lived through the terror of watching him kill their grandparents,
Yeah.
they don't know it was him, but
Yeah.
they've watched a pretty horrible thing.
Yeah.
and are adjusting to an unfortunate new normal.
Yeah.
The only other person that they have really clung to and loved, Maria, the housekeeper, is taken away too.
Yeah.
They're like triple, quadruple orphans.
Yeah. Oh my god, mega orphans.
I mean, yes, they love their other aunties, Jamie and Michelle and those three, but they're not active in their lives the way Virginia, James, and Maria are.
Yeah, their day-to-day is gone.
Right. But he doesn't see that.
Of course not.
All he sees is two little boys that are rich and used to a mansion and a maid, and now they're out of sorts because they have to live in his shitty duplex. Mm. He honestly believes that those children are crying because they're judgy little assholes.
Oh my god, that is so much projection. You are despicable, David.
Yes. Yes, he is. Mm-hmm. As I said, it's like it's worse than just...
That is worse.
The tedium of a crying child.
The not caring about these grieving children. It's like, these little assholes are judging me. Depraved.
Yeah. Because I mean,
depraved.
Two little kids screaming like that would drive me to distraction.
Oh, of course.
It would. It would be like somebody's just stabbing me in the ear.
Yeah.
But under these very specific circumstances, I would just suck them up and love on them and just let them scream.
Exactly. Take an Excedrin and just be the adult.
No. They're judgy little... They're used to toys and a mansion. Judgy little shits.
Jealous little shit. He's a jealous little shit.
He's jealous of children.
Yeah, that absolutely stands. Of course he is.
Since mocking them didn't work, David tried to empathize with the boys instead.
Step 2. Empathy.
He was like, look, I know this place isn't great, but it's like a temporary thing, right? We'll get you set up in something better soon. That also didn't work because that's not why they're crying.
I know, right?
There are only 3 people that these little boys have grown to depend on, and you've taken all of them away.
Yeah.
2 of them have been slaughtered, and the other one is just poof.
Yeah.
As far as they're concerned, poof, disappeared.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course that's not going to work. That's not why they're upset. The boys cried and made ugly faces and begged to see Maria.
Aww. His arch nemesis.
She got me kicked out of the house. Pinche punta.
Yeah. She's just, why are you crying for the help? Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't get it.
So vile.
Cindy tried to tell the kids that they would see Maria later, which is a lie, but... Mm-hmm. And David told her, don't tell them that. Shoot straight with them. Tell them this is their new home and they're never going to see Maria again.
Ah.
Yeah.
Man, if I could smack him from here, it would be so satisfying.
Eventually the boys do stop crying because everybody runs out of energy sometime.
Yeah.
They basically have cried themselves into exhaustion.
Yeah.
They got nothing left in the tank. And when they finally calmed down, David questioned them about what they saw the night of the murders.
Fuck you, David.
And in the end, he was satisfied that the boys didn't know that it was him, and they didn't see anything really of note. Mm-hmm. Little Michael described seeing his grandparents' blood on the walls and the state of their bodies, and he described it as wild. Like, it was wild.
Yeah.
Like, the light came on, shots went, saw Mama and Daddy's blood and their bodies. It was fucking wild.
Yeah.
David takes the fact that Michael said, quote, it was wild, to mean that the 8-year-old is a stone cold psycho.
Oh my God.
He thinks the kid doesn't care about what happened to his grandparents because he excitedly said that was wild.
Yeah.
And I don't think he meant like it was wild in a cool way. Just like he was woken up with a light, bam, 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 my grandparents are dead, Everything is bloody. It's fucking wild.
Yeah. It's just some slang he picked up.
But the fact that he used that slang,
Yeah.
David thinks means that Michael is a stone cold psycho.
Oh my god. David sees messages and all the stupidest things.
Then David took this moment to tell the boys that since the grandparents are dead, Maria no longer has a job. She's going to have to find a new job, and because of that, they're never going to see her again. This set off a whole new round of wailing.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Good.
Yeah. I hope you have a migraine, David.
Just...
Oh, poor babies. But I'm glad it hurt his head.
Yes. Eventually, Cindy and David are able to get the boys to settle down and put them to bed. But at 2 a.m., the boys came bursting into the bedroom and they're crying because they had nightmares because they saw their grandparents get gunned down.
Yeah.
David does not comfort these children. He lets Cindy comfort them as best she can, and he just sits in bed pissed. As he comes to the realization that his sex life is officially over.
That's what happens when you have kids.
Cindy hadn't been in the mood since the murders. It's been like a week.
Yeah. Well, she got what she wanted.
I mean, murder does tend to dry up the vagina.
Yeah.
But now that the boys are in their house, it's like, I'm never going to get laid ever again.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yes.
Now, David had said that he had always wanted a son.
Yeah.
He wanted a son of his own to play with and teach things.
Yeah.
But he saw Cindy's kids as a pair of spoiled animals. And Cindy was no help keeping him under control, which was probably why she ditched him at her parents in the first place.
Yeah.
Cindy would yell, and she would get overwhelmed and scream and shut down and beg David to take over. David said, all right, but if you want me to discipline the boys, I have to do it my way.
Ugh.
Said he didn't give a shit, she just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
David decided that the trick was to offer the boys a combination of positive regard mixed with punishment. That's right, we're going back into our 9th grade understanding.
Yeah.
I think he's getting this one from Pavlov.
Yeah. Or this sounds like carrot and stick.
Isn't that Pavlov? Pavlov's
No,
dog?
that's ding ding ding.
Oh, that's right.
That's just, you get this nice thing when I hit this bell. He's talking about carrot and stick.
Yes.
He's not even evolved enough to be Pavlov.
Well, you know, the way David sees it, little kids aren't too much different from pit bulls.
In some ways.
This works with his pit bulls.
Oh, God.
Why not?
Oh, I just had a lovely thought of him being eaten by pit bulls.
Oh, but why do that to those poor dogs? They'll get
That's
put
true.
down and get indigestion.
I know, it's too cruel.
And, no, I care about the dogs too much.
Yeah, can't
to
do
have
that.
them be taken down by indigestion, and the animal control would put them down for attacking a human. They don't deserve that.
That's true.
Let him be, I don't know. He needs to be eaten by like coyotes, like something wild that hits the stomach.
Someone he thinks whose ass he could kick. I can see him looking at a bunch of coyotes and be like, ah, you little scrawny dogs.
And they eat garbage anyway, so their tummies can take it, and they're already
Yeah.
wild animals, so animal control's not going to go after them.
That's so true. Win-win.
When Matthew refused to eat, play, or talk,
Wow.
David mocked him, "He's such a little wimp. Wimp, 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 wimp." When Matthew cried himself to exhaustion, David grabbed the kid and shook him before clamping a hand over his mouth and demanding the little boy stop crying. Just shaking the shit out of that baby.
Yeah. Animal.
Stop it! Stop it!
Oh, what a piece of trash.
That didn't work.
Of course not.
David would tell Cindy that Matthew's using this crying as a weapon against us. He's trying to assert dominance and authority.
Yeah.
He's 8. He's 7.
I know, right?
He's 7.
I mean, what a small person do you have to be so, like, affected and threatened by this child who who you've just orphaned.
He's trying to assert dominance,
I
Jeannie.
know. I wonder if it's like a little bit of guilty conscience too.
I read that, I was like, what in the fresh Andrew Tate hell is this?
I know.
What in the fresh and fit did you just say to me?
He is such a sleaze ahead of his time.
I know, right?
He was like born too soon.
This little kid, this child's crying to assert dominance over me. It's all about dominance and control.
I know. But I mean, what a way to tell you, like, it's really affecting me. He is controlling my emotions and dominating my thoughts by acting this way. That's essentially what he's saying.
Yes. Now, based on David's very limited knowledge of psychology, he decided that Matthew couldn't be hurting or grieving all that much because little kids don't have the capacity to feel deeply for other people at these tender
God.
ages of 7 and 8.
Uh,
No. For David, the boy's emotional reaction to witnessing their grandparents being murdered and ripped away from Maria and the only home that they would ever know
into a trash heap.
is nothing more than a power play.
God.
Matthew's just mad at the situation. Yes, he's mad at the situation.
Who wouldn't be?
Every piece of stability this child has ever known is gone.
Yeah.
And you have rats.
Yeah.
And roaches.
Yeah.
And bugs in
And you
general.
scream at him and put your hands on him and mock him.
So yes, he is very upset about the situation, just not for the reasons that you think, simple bitch.
I know he cannot relate to the complexity of a 7-year-old.
No.
Like, a 7-year-old is too complex for him to, like, wrap his head
It's all a
around.
power play, Gene. 7-year-olds don't have the emotional capacity to feel or grieve
Exactly.
this deeply.
They have no inner life until they turn 18.
Like, bro.
Bizarre. Also, like, what a terrifying, like, insight into his childhood.
So David decided he needed to talk to Matthew man to man, level with the kid.
Oh my God. That kid is more of a man than he will ever
This is
be.
the type of conversation David wishes that his father had with him, but Duvall just can't be bothered. Duvall has spent so much time not giving a shit
Yeah.
about David.
He was right. He was right to not give a crap.
I'm not wasting my time on this bullshit.
It's like, I could tell you're a waste.
So David sat Matthew down and told him, look, I realize that you miss Maria, but you gotta face facts, kid. This is your new reality.
Ugh.
Then David pointed to Michael and was like, look, he's not crying. Michael is just as devastated as Matthew, but the boy has just turned inward.
Yeah.
He's just withdrawn into himself.
Mm.
That 1 year difference just means that he knows enough to, like, if I don't cry, you won't scream in my face.
Yeah.
That year difference has given them that
Yeah.
little cognitive edge. Matthew just hasn't realized that yet, or he
Yeah.
just doesn't give a shit. Or both.
Exactly.
What was lost on David... Oh, look, I just said that. Duh. David then went on to explain to Matthew that he was making himself obnoxious.
Mm.
And that's not fair to me and Cindy.
Fuck off.
David ended the conversation by telling the 7-year-old that life isn't fair, you don't always get what you want, and nobody wants to be around a whiny baby all the time.
Oh my God. David is so miserable. I know these kids are devastated, in shock, and just like rock. But, like, but David's so miserable. It's just, he deserves this. He deserves this suffering.
So then, David promised that we'll make some good memories together.
Oh.
I just need you to stop acting like an asshole.
Oh my God.
That's right. He told a 7-year-old that has just had his world shattered
Mm-hmm.
that it'll all be fine if you stop acting like an asshole.
Poor kid. I just can't. I can't even. Oh god, I want to kick down the door so bad and rescue them. I want to get in the hot tub time machine. And we're going back to 1981. And we're busting some heads.
You're gonna punch David in the dick and just take those children. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm taking you to your Uncle J-Dub.
Yes.
Just, you don't, like, I know I'm a strange lady that just materialized out of nowhere. This is fucking you up even more than the other shit. But I can take you.
We totally roll with it at this point.
I can take you to either one of your 3 aunties or your Uncle J-Dub.
Yeah.
Just tell me and I'll make it happen.
Dealer's choice.
And they would probably go with you.
Mm-hmm. Anything.
And then you could drop them off at a better relative and time travel the fuck up out of there.
Yeah.
And those kids would still be fucked up to this very day. Equal parts about their grandparents' death and the strange lady that just materialized and took them to safety.
I live a really weird life.
All right. All the therapy. All of it. Got any spare
For
therapy?
real.
I know 2 little boys that can use it.
Right? Please, sir, could you spare some cognitive therapy?
Right. After their talk, Matthew calmed down enough for David to take the boys out to Chinese food.
God.
But he didn't. He took them to Chinese, but he didn't take them to the kind of Chinese that a 7-year-old
Yeah.
from the suburbs of Houston would want.
Yeah.
You know, like the Panda Express.
Exactly.
He took them to like a proper Mandarin restaurant.
Oh.
Children don't want that.
No.
I-
This is weird food. I've never had this before.
I find it delicious.
Oh, yeah. We're also adults.
Right.
With
Their palates.
more mature palates. Yeah.
Their palates haven't matured to appreciate the black squid ink compote.
Right. They're not ready for that.
And the brilliance.
Fish sauce.
Right, and the brilliance of sticky rice.
Yes.
They're not there.
Yeah.
But I bet you if you took them to like a Panda Express,
Yeah, they would find something. Like some sweet and sour chicken.
yeah, a little
Rice,
orange chicken,
Mm-hmm.
a little fried rice would be fine for a kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's not where he took them.
God.
And because they took him to like the authentic weird place that they have no context for, Matthew refused to eat
Good for you, Matthew.
because he didn't like the texture or the color of the food.
Yeah.
Because to him, it just looks like weird brown shit.
Yeah. I've never had this before, and I refuse.
David was a normal adult for about 3.5 seconds when he wondered if maybe his tastes were too exotic for children.
Right.
But no, that's not it. It's not that I picked the wrong place.
Yeah.
The children are the problem.
Yes.
And they just needed to deal with it and eat because they had to learn how to do more than eat tacos and Pepsi.
Oh my God. Tacos and Pepsi. Jesus.
Which actually sounds delicious. I know,
I know,
he's
but I'm
needing
like
to be-
imagining like Cindy's the kind of person that would feed her children tacos and Pepsi for like every meal because like that's all she can manage.
Also, I think that's shade to Maria.
Oh, yeah.
Because their housekeeper / nanny is Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks all that she feeds them is tacos and Pepsi.
Of course, that racist trash.
I think both things are true.
I think that no,
But I think it's
the
more
shade to
shade to
Marita
Maria
is
more
much
of
more
it.
true.
David tried again the next day, but the boys refused to eat the sushi. Quit taking
Oh
them
my God!
to weird places.
Those poor hungry babies.
Yeah, they wouldn't eat sushi.
Yeah.
Raw fish. I'm grown and I don't even eat sushi.
No, right? Even the rice is gross.
I mean, I have a seafood thing. Like, it just does
Yeah.
bad things to my tummy. I'm just not trying to risk it.
Yeah.
Although it's so funny. Every time somebody's like, go with me to sushi, and I'm like, nah, seafood doesn't work well in my tummy, so I just kind of stay
Yeah.
away. No, it'll be fine. I go to the best sushi place. I go there, I get peer pressured into eating one piece of sushi, I'm sick for 3 days.
Yeah.
This has happened so many times that every time it's like, my place is the best. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Everybody thinks that I get sick off of sushi because I caught everybody on a bad day. Then that means every sushi restaurant in Los Angeles is a bad day when I show up.
Yeah.
It's a Samara problem,
Yeah.
not a restaurant problem.
It's a seafood allergy.
Yeah. But
I mean, there's not, if you have like a nut allergy, there is not a tree on earth that will make a succulent enough nut to overcome that.
no.
It's just not going to happen.
And I don't care how good the homemade wasabi is at your favorite sushi place, it is not going to do shit for me.
Yeah. Do they have chicken nuggets?
If your
I will
sushi
have
place
chicken
has a
nuggets.
teriyaki chicken dish, I can have that.
Exactly.
If your sushi place has a beef broccoli dish, I can have that.
Yeah.
But no, I can't just eat the sushi.
And it is insane to give that to children.
Their palates aren't mature for enough.
I know, right?
Unless they grew up eating it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I do know some kids in that age range, like 7, 8-year-old.
Oh, but you're right. But they grew up. Like,
Yeah.
from infancy, they're eating like these flavors, and then their first solid foods.
Yeah, like their parents were cutting up sashimi for them when they were like
Yeah.
18 months old.
But these are 7 and 8-year-old in Texas. Give
Right.
them ribs, give them barbecue, give them chicken nuggies,
Girl.
anything, corn,
Oh.
something.
And they rejecting David's food? No sir, no ma'am.
Judgment, you're judging me.
Howling mad.
Mm-hmm.
They rejected his. He told Cindy that her kids were nothing but a couple of little hicks with no refinement. They are 7 and 8. How refined do you want them to
I
be?
know, right? Mm,
A couple of little hicks with no refinement.
Mm.
There was a little bit of peace in the home when David took the kids to see a Clint Eastwood movie.
Oh my God, which one?
I forget.
It doesn't matter. Well, just imagine him taking him to Dirty Harry.
It was something. Aren't all Clint Eastwood movies a version of Dirty Harry?
I know, but after they
Especially
watched
in the 80s.
Yeah, but after watching their parents get gunned down, to like watch a shoot 'em up. Oh.
You know what? They were mostly fine.
Mm.
Like, Michael watched the whole thing. He really enjoyed it. Michael's the one that's a little more action horror movie.
Okay.
Matthew is the one that's still more Popeye cartoons.
Yeah. Okay.
Matthew fell asleep.
Hmm.
Michael probably got a little bit of relief to be able to, like, lose himself in something that's
True.
not the ongoing horror of his life for the last
Right?
past 5 days.
Oh God.
So, guns notwithstanding, I'm sure it probably felt nice for him to forget for 90 minutes.
Just escape.
Just 90 minutes, though. Because back at home, Matthew screamed for Maria.
Aw, he's so hungry.
The boys have been with Cindy and David for 2 days.
Oh God.
2 days.
Probably the longest 2 days of their little lives.
It is the longest 2 days of everybody's life.
Good.
Everybody in this involved thinks that this 2 days is never going to end.
Good.
With nowhere left to turn, David called Cecilia for help.
Oh.
Cecilia jumped on her tricycle and went to David's house. She got some board games, some of his old toys. She is ready to leap into action.
Yeah. She probably thinks we're getting so much closer to you being married. You've got her children. Yes! Grandma's on her way.
Cecilia fares a little better with calming them down.
Yeah.
They play Monopoly. Cecilia gives them a more age-appropriate, kinder version of the straight talk that David attempted to give.
God. Yeah.
She's not, I mean, she's trash because she raised him.
Yeah.
But, like, she relates to children better.
Mm-hmm.
There is a way...
She's a little more normal
Yeah.
than him.
There is a way to have that kind of an age-appropriate look. I'm sorry, but this is your new reality.
Yes.
There is a way to have that conversation with a child
Yeah.
in a way that they understand that doesn't traumatize them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Cecilia is able to do. She's not, look, Maria's never coming back. It's not that.
Yeah.
But she did give them a straight talk conversation, and ultimately they played Monopoly and hung out. While the kids are playing, Cindy tells Cecilia how her parents used to go to Vegas a few times a year, and that her dad was so smart he always won. And that's when Cecilia decided that James Campbell must have been in the mafia, and that's what got him killed.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Girl, she had seen something similar on Columbo or Hill Street Blues or whatever the fuck.
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Cagney and Lacey.
Insert early 80s cop propaganda here. She saw something.
Yeah.
In any event, she was very proud of the way that she had helped calm the kids down.
Mm-hmm.
And she was feeling good. Her new grandbabies.
Oh, God. Blah, blah, blah. Those poor kids.
But in the end, David West is just not good with children.
Yeah.
When Michael told David he wanted a chicken fried steak, David was more than happy to take the boy out and said, okay, we can go get it. But you gotta eat it all.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Michael said he would clean his plate. He's 8.
Yeah.
They make dumb promises like that all the time.
Amen. Their eyes are way bigger than their stomachs.
And that's the reality of it. Michael ate the skin,
Yeah.
maybe 2 bites of meat, and then started in on the mashed potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got full.
Yeah.
It's like if a kid says, I want a chicken fried steak, just be prepared to eat half a chicken fried steak. You're goddamn yourself.
Exactly.
But whatever. David tried to get Michael to eat 5 more bites of meat.
Mm-hmm.
The kid refused because he's full.
Yeah.
David told Michael that he could not tell him no. Don't tell me no. And if you don't eat those 5 bites of meat, I'm going to take you outside and give you a swat for every piece you didn't eat.
Dick.
Michael's like, but I'm full.
Yeah.
If I eat more, I'll just vomit all over this table. Is that what you want? Like, if that's what you want, I can do that.
Yeah, challenge accepted.
I mean, I am 8. I have no problem with just weird vomit in strange places.
Amen.
I'm still in that age where I can get away with shit like that.
Yeah.
But no, David insisted that he eat. Michael did not eat, so David dragged him outside and gave him 5 hard smacks across the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Then David left the kids screaming in the parking lot.
God damn it.
And told him to come inside when he stops crying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. As he's walking, he's like, but don't run away. 1, we'll find you. 2, you got nowhere to go. 3, it might be dangerous. Come in when you stop crying, because I can either find you or something, or you'll get hit by a car.
Oh my God.
Or something.
Yeah.
When David was out walking his dog, Michelle and Betty stopped by. Mm-hmm. This is that same 2 days.
Yeah.
It's a rough 2 days.
It is.
It is a rough 2 days for everybody.
Oh man. It had to be agony for them to let those kids go and wait 2 days.
Yeah. When the girls stopped by, according to Cindy, Michelle scooped the boys up in her arms, hugged them tight, gave them some loving words, loved on them a little bit, and told them that they'll be back tomorrow.
Good.
Oh, that was the last straw for David. Fuck that. If the fucking weird sisters are gonna start coming around, fuck it, these kids are out.
Yay!
Wants nothing to do with them. It's one thing for him and Cindy to try to get them into shape, such as it is, and raise them together. But if the weirdo sisters are coming around...
Weirdo sisters. How dare he?
Yeah. If the weirdo sisters are coming around, fuck this, fuck you, fuck them, fuck these kids, fuck that.
Yeah.
So David told Cindy to pack up the boys' stuff, which she did, and the pair tried to drop them off at an orphanage.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God. That's an improvement, though.
The orphanage did not take them. For all they know, they're kidnap victims. They don't fucking know. What kind of psycho just shows up and take the... No.
Where are their birth certificates? What the hell?
The only children like that orphanages take are like prom night dumpster babies.
Yeah.
That's the only time they just take a random child, sight unseen.
Yeah.
Anything that's not that, they need paperwork. They need to know stuff. No.
That is so scummy, too, to go to an orphanage.
they really did try to drop them off at an orphanage. So since the orphanage wouldn't take the boys, Cindy called her Michelle and was like, what do I do? What do I do with my children?
God.
I don't want them.
It's so incredibly pathetic.
The orphanage won't take them.
God.
They won't stop crying. I don't understand.
Yeah. A little bit of honesty.
Just do something.
It's the only thing she's ever said that I believe.
Yes.
I don't understand.
And Michelle was like, okay, Cindy, it's okay. Just get the boys to Uncle JW and we will take it from now.
Yay.
And what ends up happening is Uncle JW ends up getting custody of the boys.
Good.
And that's only because the other three girls are not quite in a position to do it.
Yeah, Jamie's too young.
The other two are just barely launching their careers. Yeah. They have Michelle has children, but I mean, her daughter's not even 2.
Yeah.
So.
And these kids require a lot of, like, attention. Like, undivided attention.
Oh, yeah. And,
basically.
And not that the other sisters weren't willing to do therapy and things like that. It would just may have been too much of a strain on their individual households.
Yeah.
Uncle JW is an empty nester.
Yeah. And I'm guessing he's in Austin.
Yeah. He's in Austin, so the schools and stuff can stay the same.
Yeah.
They can still be around their friends.
Yeah.
Uncle JW lives, like, in the same neighborhood. Remember, it only took him 15 minutes to get to their house. So he lives close by. Mm-hmm. So they can stay mostly in an environment that they're used to.
Yeah. Without necessarily having a daily reminder of their trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. After Michelle's like, just take him to Uncle J-Dub, she called the cops.
Mm-hmm. Told
them everything that had happened. The cops went by Uncle J-Dub's house to make sure that the kids were in good condition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No abuse or anything like that.
Yeah.
The kids were shook up, and Matthew did have a bruise on his shoulder from when David shook the shit out of him.
Yeah.
But all things considered, the children are in good condition. Mm-hmm. All things considered. The detective questioned the boys again to make sure to see if David and Cindy had talked to them about the murders. Mm-hmm. And, of course, to make sure they didn't hurt them.
Yeah. Yeah.
The boys did confirm that David had asked if they had seen anything. The boys' story never changes.
Yeah.
And the cops figured that Cindy and David had no intentions of raising those kids. And they only took them in to see what they knew.
I mean, yeah. I think it was part of it.
I think when they first take the kids, David is on him, I'm going to have 2 sons.
Yeah.
I think he's on a make us a family kick.
Yeah.
He's got instant family. He's always wanted kids. He's always wanted sons. Mm-hmm. And now, no. He don't like the ones that he got.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
They don't like me. They judge me.
Judgy little bastards. Little hicks got no refinement.
Yeah. How am I not able to dominate these little shits?
Right?
Yeah.
So it's been about 2 weeks since the murders, and David is getting tired.
Of himself?
Of Cindy.
Ah, there is a limit.
I mean, yes, he does like that she has, like, an almost slavish devotion to him.
Yeah.
He likes that she asks for permission to do every little thing, even going to the bathroom.
Oh my God.
He likes that she waits on him hand and foot, even though she don't really clean.
Yeah.
He likes all of that thing. But he had hoped that after her parents were dead, she would get better.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
From his perspective, if she doesn't have her horrible family
Yeah.
harassing her, abusing her, putting her down,
Yeah.
then Cindy can finally launch and be
Yeah. Normal.
a full-fledged adult. She is free.
Yes.
You never have to speak to the three wicked sisters ever again.
Exactly.
And the parents are dead. Free.
You can focus on you now.
Free as the wind blows.
Mm-hmm.
But Cindy is determined not to change. When he would ask for sex, Cindy would say no, she was too uptight.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, not into it.
And she's falling apart again. And this is special because she's gaining weight again.
Yeah.
She's getting stinkier than usual.
Oh.
I mean, even when he has her, air quotes, at her best,
Yeah.
there's always like a low-level stink.
Yeah.
Like a little too much perfume.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But now she's letting herself go again.
Ah.
So we're getting the BO on top of the too much perfume.
Ew. Yeah.
And the greasy hair. And so on and so on.
Yes. Returning to form.
And that especially pissed David off because he's like, okay, but your parents were the reason that this shit was happening.
Yeah. Like, not only is she not fixed or fixing herself, she is backsliding worse.
Right. And your parents aren't here, so you shouldn't be doing this.
Fraud, scam.
Slowly but surely, David is beginning to realize that Cindy is bum.
Yeah. Cindy is the problem.
Yeah. Once they had a confrontation, David demanded that she fucking get her shit together. He ain't playing.
Yeah.
Cindy fucked off and went back to her own apartment.
Of course.
She didn't have to put up with this.
Right.
She has a place to go. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
But
she'll go there.
But she'll go. It's gross. With Cindy gone, David begins to fall apart himself. It was so bad, even his burnout friend, Wiki, was starting to notice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, David's place was already falling apart.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad the way Cindy's was bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's not doing repairs to the roof or fixing the windows, but he does do the dishes. He does vacuum his threadbare floors.
Yes.
He sweeps.
Yeah.
He mops. He takes care of himself.
Yes.
Such as it is. And now the place is so bad, it could be condemned if you reported this place to the wrong people.
Yeah.
Wrong people, right people.
Yes, depending on your point of view.
They could condemn this place. David wasn't working out anymore. You know, he'd get those little baby, biceps, those spindly spaghetti arms.
He lost his joy.
Bench pressing 80 pounds.
Huh. That's interesting.
And all he ever wanted to do was drink, get stoned, and his only joy in life is the occasional street fight. That's it. If he's not doing one of those three things, he is completely miserable.
Good. I mean, you should be that affected when you killed a couple of human beings and to impress your girl or to fix your girl and she doesn't work out and you did all that. I hope it, maimed his soul. May he never be in comfort.
We'll talk about it more later, but it does a little. It does.
Well, then he's human.
Yeah, he was not anticipating how much killing Virginia specifically would weigh on him.
Yeah.
It is bothersome. He doesn't like it.
Yeah. For some of these tough guys, I imagine it must be a lot easier to imagine, assassin. I'm an assassin, a soldier, a war fighter.
It is.
I could do it. And then you do it.
It is a lot easier to imagine hurting somebody or an animal, or it is
without the enormity of it.
And so it was really weighing on him.
Yeah.
James, not as much, and I'll probably repeat myself later, but James, he could kind of rationalize, because in his brain, James is the worst. So James, he could kind of rationalize, because in his estimation, James is the worst abuser.
Yeah, and he still definitely believes that shit.
Yeah, he definitely believes that Cindy's been molested since she was like, from 9 to 27.
Yeah.
He really does believe that. Virginia, he's kind of like, yeah, she did some fucked up things, but I shouldn't have killed her for locking you in a closet.
Right? That's going a bit far.
Yeah. Wiki did ask David what happened to the gun that he had bought from him. And David just said that he had to kill some people that had been bothering him, and now the gun was in a swamp. Wiki just thought David was talking shit.
I mean, yeah, who wouldn't?
Also, they talk shit like that all the time.
Exactly.
After leaving David, Cindy started calling Casper, the bartender that she had a few dates with over the spring.
Oh my god, poor Casper.
He wants nothing to do with her.
Right? Didn't he, like, move bars?
Yes, he quit his job and got another bartending job.
Oh my god.
Somewhere else.
How horrifying for him when she tracked him down again.
Well, she called him at home.
Ah.
She didn't track him down at work. She did have his home phone number.
Oh, change your number.
He listened politely while Cindy told him that her parents were killed by the mafia, and now her uncle is trying to keep her part of the estate away from her.
Oh.
He listened, but Cindy cannot convince him to see her.
Good for you, Casper.
He was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh.
Click.
News. Yeah.
Yeah. So she couldn't get him to come over. By this time, Cindy's friend Gwen had heard about the murders. Now it's been 2 weeks, they're all over the papers now.
Yeah.
And she decided to take her friend to lunch. Her parents have just been killed.
Yeah.
Let's do a check-in.
Yes.
Make sure she's fine.
Good friend.
As they were eating, Cindy slid into her Gabriella persona.
Oh my god.
Gabriella is going to find out who killed my papa. Gabriella will have her revenge.
Oh my god. You know, I'm picturing Lady Gaga in House of Gucci. Like, that's the accent and the attitude I'm imagining.
I wish Cindy was that brilliantly trash.
Right.
Gabriella gonna get the who called to kill my papa.
Oh god. Such a weird little fantasy.
Gabriella.
Yeah.
You killing my
Perhaps
papa.
killed by the mafia.
In the mafia, they're gonna kill you. You're killing my mama. You're killing my papa. I will have my revenge. Pasta fazool. La 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 la.
Versace. Gucci Prada.
Exactly. Then she would start complaining that her uncle and sisters were trying to cheat her out of her money.
That I delusionally inflated to $4 and $5 million.
Yeah, it's really about 200K.
Again, I imagine she's suffering a lot. Thinking about that. That's probably why her like hygiene is falling apart. She's like, this money, I gotta get this money. Why don't I have the money? Give me the money.
Well, you would have to assume that her hygiene was ever together.
Well, we do have an ebb and flow. We do understand that. It's been worse, it's been better. It's been better, it's been worse.
True, but it's never good.
No. But she is falling apart.
After their lunch, Cindy called Gwen and said, forget everything I told you about the night before, I was just putting on an act. Because she realizes that she may have said too much. About what really happened. I mean, she's doing the Gabriella thing.
Yeah.
But she's
letting a little
too loose at the lips on that one.
Theater verite.
Yeah.
Oops.
A few days later, Cindy called Gwen to complain that her doctor wouldn't give her any more pills.
These people are so ahead of their time.
So Cindy had made arrangements with her doctor for some Valium and some sleeping pills. in exchange for the occasional grope, a handy, or a BJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Cindy is so trash that she will give her doctor a beach
Yeah.
for a couple of Valiums.
Right?
I'm like, oh, get your life.
Right?
Have some self-worth. Blow an old man for Valium.
I know.
Stop
It is.
it.
Yeah, right.
Get some help.
Even for you, Cindy.
I know, it's like, really? You out there jerking off doctors for
I know.
for a sleeping pill and a Valium.
I know. James and I completely blanked on her name. What's her mother's name?
Virginia.
James and Virginia's daughter has come to this.
Right. They raised her better than that. Well, they tried
did.
to.
I know, that's what makes it so confounding. And like, I just don't get this chick.
Oh, because it's like, but people tried.
Yeah.
People
Just, like,
actually attempted to pour into you. You just never allowed it.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like, wow.
But Cindy's doctor cut her off because he started to suspect that she was mixing pills and booze. And no, when you drop dead, I don't want nobody looking for me.
Right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, good for him.
He can get a handy somewhere else.
It's
If there's one desperate bitch that'll let me, pull on her titties
Yeah.
for a Valium, there's another one.
For a little peek of a squeeze. Yep.
Yeah. I'll find another one. It might take some
Exactly.
time. But I'll find another desperate junkie bitch.
Yeah.
Don't need you. Gwen gave Cindy the number to her doctor. But a week later, Cindy called Gwen pissed off because that doctor cut her off. He gave her one prescription.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that was gone, she tried to get more. And that doctor told her the kind of help you need cannot be found in a pill.
Yeah, true. I don't know. Antipsychotics. Have we tried that yet?
No, she didn't deserve them.
It's true.
The help she needs is not.
She needs a cage. Is the help she needs
to be found in a pill. Cindy was too crazy,
Yeah.
and this is the last straw for Gwen for a while.
Oh, good for you, Gwen.
She's got a family.
Yeah.
I mean, she's sad that Cindy's parents are dead,
Mm-hmm.
and she tried to help her with her grief,
Mm-hmm.
but Cindy's just too wild, and she's got. Her son is, I think, 16-ish, 15, 16.
Yeah.
And her little is like 6 years old.
Yeah. Aw. Yeah, she can't have Cindy around them.
No.
Oh, especially that poor teenage boy. Keep her far away.
Yes. In the weeks after the murders, the Campbell sisters went back to their own lives as best they could.
Yeah.
But they were still in contact with the police.
Good.
By this time, Jamie had decided she needed to tell the cops about the conversation where Cindy said that she wanted to kill her parents.
Good for her.
Remember, she had told Betty about the conversation, but the cops couldn't do anything about it because they heard it from Betty.
Yeah, true.
That gave them enough ammunition to search Cindy's place again. This time during the search, Nanny Helen reported to the police that Cindy had been getting rid of a lot of her parents' things. Like clothes.
Oh, I was figuring she was hawking the electronics.
She did. That's the first thing she did.
Okay.
But once she's out of the easily sellable stuff, there are other things. She's taking clothes. She's taking purses.
Okay.
Household goods, silver candlesticks,
Yeah.
yada 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 yada.
God, trash.
And if she can't sell something, she's got no use for it. So then she's just dumping it out on the street. Cindy was getting so much of her late parents' things that the homeless were just starting to hang around her building,
Oh my God.
waiting for the next haul.
Wow.
So that's why I said
Yeah.
the TVs, VCRs, the stuff that she could sell easy. That was the first shit to go.
Yeah.
Now, every time she's going to the house, she's just taking stuff.
Yeah.
And if she finds something she can sell, she will. And if she has no use for it, she just throws it to the street. Which is why you got this line of homeless people waiting to see
Well, I'm happy for them. I'm glad they had a little bonanza.
what might come out next, because she's throwing out
Yeah. Clothes. Shoes, I imagine.
bags.
Yes.
She's throwing out
Bedding. Yeah.
things that people can actually use. While Cindy is disposing of her parents' things, David had a series of burnout friends try to move into his duplex.
Mm-hmm.
But none of them stay long because the apartment is nearly uninhabitable.
Dang. Even the burnouts are like, no, dude.
Girl.
I have some more self-respect.
The roof is so bad you can see daylight in the attic.
Oh, shit. What a dumb little...
Most of the windows are broken out or don't close.
Yeah.
And instead of fixing them, a little WD-40 or something, all he does is put cardboard, wood, or aluminum
Oh my god.
over the windows to cover the cracks.
Petty little bitch. She deserves it.
Right? The stairs are falling apart.
Yeah.
The carpet is threadbare. And because he's not doing any of the other work, the foundation is starting to sag.
Yeah.
Right? Junk on junk only begets more junk.
That's so true.
And if you let a place go that disrepair,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, the foundation's going to start to sink.
True.
And that's where he's at.
Because he's mad at his mommy.
Make me bite his head. Thank you to do again.
Yeah. So petty.
On one drunken night, Cindy did call David, but he was already passed out. So his friend Rory took the call. Rory thinks Cindy sounds kind of hot.
Man.
And she talks him into coming over and bringing her tea.
Oh my god.
Rory's like, hot? DTF?
Bonk chicka bonk bonk.
Yes.
Yeah. It does sound like the plot to an unsavory movie.
But when he gets to Cindy's place, he finds that she is almost as bad off as David.
Yikes. Yeah.
The only difference between their places at this point is that Cindy actively has animal feces in her apartment. She has 2 cats and a puppy, and all of them are described as emaciated.
Oh. God damn you, Cindy.
And she just lets them poop,
Yeah.
pee
Aw.
everywhere.
Poor eat scraps. Poor things.
If they're being fed on any type of regular basis, it's whatever they scavenge.
Yeah.
When she throws her Taco Bell wrappers on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, those poor babies.
Which is another reason why they might look emaciated, because that's not the right food for them.
Exactly.
But they're just eating whatever she throws on the floor. Or they're just eating moldy stuff.
Yeah.
They're just not well cared for.
Poor babes.
But that's what makes hers worse.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But they're both still pretty bad.
Yeah, they're soulmates. Truly.
Right? Now, it's clear to Rory when he finally meets Cindy that she's out of her goddamn mind.
Yes.
But he takes a pause when Cindy starts talking about money.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's complaining that she's set to inherit millions, but her asshole uncle is keeping her broke and only giving her $500 a week because he's trying to screw her over.
Yeah. I bet that sounded like a small fortune to him in 1982.
Yeah, Rory is a roadie by trade.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks of himself as a practical man. And so he says, I'll make you a deal. I'll move in with you. I'll help you get cleaned up, get you on your feet, and in exchange, when you get your money, I want a full tour kit. Everything that you could possibly need to be a roadie, no matter how big or how small the show is.
Yeah.
Give me a kit, I'll help put you back to rights.
Oh my god, he's making a deal with the devil for a Rudy kid.
Honestly, he was better at helping her than David.
Wow.
He at least got her an ID.
Well, there you go.
First time she's ever had a state ID.
I believe it.
I don't count your school ID.
No. God, no.
So this is the first time she's ever had a government issue ID card.
Mm-hmm.
And he helps her set up a banking account.
That is progress.
He was more helpful than David.
Yeah.
Now, she doesn't keep either of these things for any amount of time that could be taken serious.
Yeah, but if you were helping someone, those are good steps.
I feel like that's better than anything David ever did.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, you need to lose weight.
Yeah.
You just need to be more attractive to me.
Right.
Yeah. Where dude is like, okay, no, well, what do you need to be a functioning person for real, To
Right.
get this money and to show these people you're an adult.
Now,
Bank
Rory
account
still
idea.
Rory would still like to fuck. Let us be
A
clear.
man's a man's a man.
He would still like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that he was more materially helpful.
Yeah. He was.
Just like when David, Cindy tells Rory all the horror stories about how David had raped her and her evil family and trying to steal her money.
Yeah.
Rory starts to help Cindy clean up, but while he's helping her clean her house and stuff, he decides, oh, I know what it is. She won't fuck me because she has a BDSM fetish. He thinks that all of these stories about her being abused are her working her way up to some sort of like BDSM freak. Because why else would you be talking about being chained up all the time and being slapped around? If that's
Well, if you eliminate the possibility of her being completely out of her gourd, I could see.
He's like, no, this must be a sex thing.
Yeah, right.
So he starts being mean to her. You bitch, you whore, you slut, you skank. Because he's like, that's going to turn her on.
That's what you like, right?
Yeah. But she didn't like that because she's not a fetishist, she's just a nut.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm trying to manipulate you.
And so Cindy calls David to get Rory out of her place.
God. Let me call my rapist.
You just lied and said that this man assaulted you. But now this is the guy that you're going to call. Okay, girl.
Yeah, she has no other mode.
But she did say that the reason that she was on to David is because he would beat people up for her.
True.
Way to prove her right. David goes over to handle Rory. Rory refuses to leave because Cindy owes him $250 for services rendered.
Yes.
Basically.
He's going to get something out of this.
The two of them, Rory and David, go to blows. David tries to throw Rory out of Cindy's second story balcony. He tried it.
Ding dongs in love.
The cops are called because they're making a ruckus. Rory leaves, but before he leaves, he hands Cindy an IOU.
Yeah.
He wants his $250. He ain't never gonna get it. But he tried it.
Yeah.
Once Rory was out of the way, Cindy called Cecilia and tells her that she needs a place to lay low. Cecilia's excited to hear from Cindy.
Yeah. Progress.
She honestly believes that she is the perfect woman for her son.
She is weirdly right. I mean, they're a nightmare together, but they are made for each other.
And because of that, she, of course, child, you can stay with us.
Right?
Offered up David's childhood bedroom. Cecilia honestly believes that having Cindy back around the edges of his life will lift David's depression. She thinks that David's depressed because, one, he broke up with Cindy. Two, his inheritance is almost gone.
That doesn't help. Yeah.
But she thinks that's why he's sad.
Yeah, I can see that.
He killed 2 people, Cecilia.
Yeah.
And it's wearing on him.
Yeah.
That's why he's upset.
His little scrap of humanity, it's chewing on that part.
Yes. So staying with Cecilia didn't stop Cindy's drinking habits. On her first night in the West home, Cindy got raging drunk and told the West that her parents had been killed by the mafia.
Oh my God.
Cindy would last in the West home for less than 48 hours.
Wow.
Day and a half.
Cecilia just got over it.
No, Cecilia never asked her to leave.
Oh, was it?
It's just after she got really drunk that one day, she just decided that she should go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so she called her friend Gwen to go back over there. Now, I know that I just said that Gwen was done with the friendship. But she couldn't bring herself to let her buddy fall into disrepair.
Yikes.
She couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Especially after Cindy cried that Cecilia was just as evil and abusive as David had been, and she needed a place to hide from the mafia people who killed her parents.
Oh my God.
And so Gwen let Cindy stay. A decision she regretted as soon as Cindy walked into the door. In less than 48 hours, Cindy drank every drop of booze in that house.
Oh my God.
Accused Gwen's husband of hitting on her.
Ugh.
But the final straw was when Gwen caught Cindy in her teenage son's room being inappropriate.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm just like, that poor woman to walk in on that.
Now, Gwen does not go into detail about what she saw, and she does not accuse Cindy of molestation. But whatever she saw freaked her out so much that she knew she couldn't have Cindy in her house around her kids.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
So it may not be like full late night sneaky auntie,
Yeah.
but clearly Gwen saw that that's where it's going, and she's, look, all of us got mental illness because we're raised by humans.
Yeah.
But she wasn't going to give him that one.
Yeah. No, I can protect you from this, and I will.
Right. And to make sure that Cindy didn't cause a scene or refuse to leave, Gwen decided to take Cindy out for lunch while her husband packed Cindy's shit into the van and dropped it off at her house.
Nice.
At Cindy's place.
Yeah.
During lunch, Cindy once again slips into Gabriella, and that's what she tells Gwen. Oh, I was there the night of the mafia coming to kill my mama and my papa.
Oh.
She doesn't use David's name, but she tells Gwen that she has a boyfriend who only knows her by Gabriella, and he was so moved by all of her tales of woe and the abuse that she had suffered at the hands of her family that he killed her parents to help her heal. Gabriella.
Oh my God. She could not help bragging.
Now she changes it up a little bit. She doesn't mention David's name. She said that when they went into the house, she had tried to change her mind, but the boyfriend pulled a gun to her head and made her watch.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Cindy said she only went along because this mafia guy would kill her too. Me! Cindy!
The main character.
He would kill me. Cindy continued the story saying that she had dropped a glove, which she did. But she tells Gwen she dropped the glove to let the cops know that she had been there.
Oh God.
But the boyfriend knew that she dropped the glove, and now she was in hiding from the mafia people because they were out to get her to protect the shooter.
I must join witness protection.
Gwen is shook.
Yeah, that's like a hell of a story, especially if you believe Cindy ever tells the truth.
Right? Well, and now she's shook because she thinks being around Cindy is putting her family in mafia closets.
God, right? The downside to having your lies be taken seriously.
Right? But Gwen, she's determined to get Cindy out of her house. Fuck it. After lunch, they're driving along, and Cindy realizes that Gwen is taking her back to her apartment.
Yes.
And when they get to the apartment, Cindy sees that her things are already there. Everything except for her color TV. Gwen's husband kept that for...
Oh my God. Safekeeping?
No. Like, pain and suffering.
Even better.
Like, I can't sue this bitch for being crazy and disruptive. The least I can do
I'll
is
take something.
keep this only valuable thing.
Yeah.
And keep this TV. As Gwen drops Cindy off, Cindy begins to cry. How did it be killed by the mafia?
Oh, wow.
Gwen tries to explain, look, I don't know nothing about you and the mafia. All I can tell you is that I cannot put my family, my children most specifically, at risk because of your shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry your parents are
Yeah.
dead. I hope the cops solve this sooner rather than later. But whatever's going on with your family, I can't have my kids around.
Like if they're willing to kill your parents, they will hurt my family.
Yeah. And to drive the point home, Gwen lied and said that she had a restraining order against Cindy so she couldn't come back to the house. She knew Cindy would never check.
Yeah.
And
good for her.
And Cindy's got just enough rat cunning that she wouldn't risk it.
Yeah. Like this avenue, like she has squeezed everything out of Gwen that she's gonna get.
Yeah.
And she overplayed her hand.
But Gabriella gotta get the revenge for my mama and my papa. Mambo. Mambo Italiano mambo. That's all she got.
Oh boy.
4 months after the murders, Uncle JW gets a call from a woman that says Cindy confessed to her. The cops were able to trace the call back to Gwen, and within a few hours, Gwen is at the station telling them about Cindy's confession. They do believe Gwen because she knows the detail about the glove, and that's the detail that the cops held back for the press. But it's not enough to arrest Cindy.
I know. I mean, it's enough to let them know, like, yeah, it's her. We just got to find a way.
Everybody believes that it's Cindy.
That must have been nice to have that confirmation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yes!
But also frustrating because you really can't do anything.
I know.
Cindy and Gwen are in touch again about 6 weeks after Gwen's interview. Gwen apologizes for going to the cops and Cindy forgives her. Now, both of these crazies think that their phones are tapped and they start speaking in code in all of their phone conversations. In one call, Cindy uses their code to tell Gwen that David was the killer. But Gwen decides to keep this information to herself because she knows how horrible Cindy's parents were.
Oh, God.
They probably deserve their fate.
Good friend. She still believes this lady. I mean, it's hard for me to wrap my head around anyone believing a damn word she says, but she must be very charming. She must have a very winning way about her.
I can't see how. She's greasy, she's stinky.
Exactly. Like, to have these people, like, her drawings must be breathtaking.
I've heard she's incredibly talented.
Yeah. I mean, her talent must be, like, striking. Like, she must be very funny when she's being funny.
People do say that when she's on in a good way.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, Gwen and Cindy, I think we talked about it in the last episode, when their friendship is, like, in the thickest thieves department, they hang out a lot in Gwen's dark room.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And they drink beer, smoke a little pot, and, like, her and Cindy and Gwen put on, like, these little plays together, and it's just, like,
fun.
goofy, artsy-fartsy shit.
Yeah.
You know? And as Cindy and Gwen mend their friendship, David is finally getting Cindy out of his system.
Oh, good for you, David.
She still calls from time to time to tell him that she misses her mother and things like that.
Oh. Man.
Yeah.
That is so fuck you, Cindy.
I miss Mama.
She is a demon from hell.
But it is clear through those conversations that whatever bond her and David once had, not there.
Good for him.
In his darker moments, David wonders if Cindy had conned him into killing her parents.
Wow, a spark of intelligence. Brain cells are bumping up against each other.
But then he takes another swig of beer. And then he thinks about how incompetent and helpless she is, and decides that she doesn't have the brain power to trick someone as savvy
Oh my God.
David Duval West. Did I mention that he's descended from French Huguenots?
Oh my God. I did almost forget about that.
Yes.
Oh my God. The hubris. Oh. That's why so many people there's so many suckers in the world, because they think they're geniuses that could never be fooled.
And in the end, he decided that he and Cindy had created and committed the perfect crime. The case is a little cold. So we're going to talk about the time frame from 83 to 84.
Okay.
So it's been a whole year since the Campbells were murdered. And the three Campbell sisters are trying to move on and create a new normal without their parents.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Because on top of the normal pains of grief, all of the sisters had a nagging suspicion that Cindy had something to do with their parents' deaths.
Yeah.
In their private moments, Betty and her husband would cite Cindy's slip attitude as proof that Cindy had something to do with it. She put on a good front at the funeral, but she's not shed a tear.
Ooh.
Never like, ooh, I miss Mama.
Yeah, that has to be so eerie.
I think she does that to David only because she wants him to do things. But like
just to torture him.
To her sisters and her brothers-in-laws and the people, or her uncle, the people that should matter to.
Yeah.
She doesn't, I miss Mama. No sharing good memories.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's like it never happened. They never were.
But every time Betty's husband was like, it's because she's so flit. She's not grieving.
Yeah.
Betty would be like, well, Cindy's always been uncaring.
Yeah.
So her attitude is a little par for the course. Richard, quit trying to read evil into what is her default.
Yeah, yeah.
Betty is trying. God bless. I mean, she knows her sister had something to do with it.
Yeah. But to what degree?
But she doesn't like thinking it out loud.
Yeah.
That's why every time Richard brings it up, she's like, well, she's always evil. How do you know that this is like a special murderous evil or her regular ass evil?
How can you tell the difference?
I mean, honestly.
Right.
How could you? So she's trying not to go there, but she knows. But on some level, all the Campbell girls knew that he was right. And they all felt horrible about it.
Yeah.
Like, Cindy's a lot of things, but no one wants to think that she would actually be capable of this.
Yeah.
And to keep their brains from going completely insane, they came up with, like, theories of if Cindy did it, why did she do it?
Oh, wow.
One theory was that Cindy did it to get custody of the boys back.
I mean, that's a theory.
When the girls asked Cindy if she had any theories of what could have happened to their parents and why, Cindy would just laugh. Ha ha ha! It was the mafia. And the other girls are like, Daddy ain't got nothing to do with the mafia.
Exactly. That is insane.
Lawyers equals mafia. Everybody knows that.
Oh. That's the connection?
Yeah. Lawyers, her father was a lawyer. Lawyers know shady people.
Yeah.
Shady people equals mafia.
Exactly. No, there was a lawyer in The Godfather.
True story. He was the consigliere. That is the second in command.
Yes.
Look at me watching mafia movies.
I know, but he's not a made man.
No, because he's Italian. Or Irish.
Exactly.
But living in limbo between grief and suspicion, the Campbell girls decided to split the difference. They won't really tell Cindy that they're suspicious of her,
Smart.
but they are going to try to stay in close contact with her. Just to keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
And report anything that could be evidence to the cops.
That is a good compromise. And it keeps them safe. And possibly others.
Yeah. So they, we just call her every week. Mm-hmm. And they have they schedule a rotation.
Wow.
So one sister is calling her every day.
Dang.
Out of the
they're
three.
Really taking one for the team.
Yeah. It's Betty on Monday, Michelle on Tuesday, Jamie on Wednesday, Thursday we start right back up with Michelle.
Yeah.
And they just rotate to keep an eye on her.
Mm-hmm.
In each of their conversations, the sisters did their very best to give Cindy the benefit of the doubt. Oh. They gave her opportunities to show that she loved and missed their parents. Because they're waiting for it.
Yeah.
They wanted to go, God damn it, I was making toast the other day and I accidentally burned it and it reminded me of the time. Remember when Mama did da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? God, I miss that woman.
Yeah.
That's what they're waiting for.
Yes.
Never happens.
Ooh, that is creepy.
All they get from Cindy was laughter and some of her theories about the crime and complaints about the estate.
Oh my god.
Her theory is always it was the mafia.
Is ice. Yeah.
It's cold kill.
Yes, it is. It is.
But that's all they can get out of her. Cindy felt like it was taking way too long to settle the estate, and she wasn't getting money, so what the fuck?
Yeah. What's the hold up?
One of Cindy's favorite complaints about the estate and her family in general was the, quote, niggardliness of her $500 advances.
Oh my god.
She's getting $500 a week.
I know. That is a lot for the early 80s. That is...
Not only is it, not just for the 80s.
More than a living wage.
Not just for the 80s. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money for a person that literally has no expenses. She don't pay rent.
That's so true. Yeah.
She don't pay tax. She doesn't buy groceries. She doesn't pay utilities.
Mm. Yeah.
She don't do shit.
Yeah.
She has no bills.
Yeah. That is such a generous allowance.
$500 a week. Mm-hmm. $2,000 a month.
Exactly. $2,400 a year. Oh, $24,000 a year.
She should be gravy.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have the expenses that most... She don't even gotta feed her fucking kids.
That's so true. Or buy them clothes. No expenses. You're right.
So no,
it's for her to fritter away on whatever she wants.
Right, so it's you can't even put it in the context of it was the lot for the 80s. No, it's a lot for anybody that don't got bills.
Yeah. Or a job. Yeah.
Are you kidding? If all my bills were paid and somebody just gave me $2,000 a month, I'd be living like a goddamn queen.
Yeah, right.
Because I wouldn't have to pay any of the shit that drains my paycheck every week.
Exactly. Mm.
Duh. At one point, Betty's husband, Richard, suggested the family put out a reward. Mm-hmm. But nothing came of it. They couldn't quite decide. When we reached the 1-year mark of the Campbells, the anniversary of their deaths, mm-hmm. Cindy hasn't spoken to Cecilia in about 6 months.
Oh.
After she left their house, she dropped out for a while. Mm-hmm. Cecilia was worried about her one and only friend.
Oh, no.
Cindy is Cecilia's only friend.
Oh, that...
Oh, come on. Would you hang out with Cecilia?
God, no. That is sad.
She's going to tell you about her Huguenot ancestors and being chased by some bloody stump dick guy that yells incantations and plays stupid games like Reminisce and can't even watch TV and enjoy an episode of Hill Street Blues because all she does is talk about how people don't act that way.
Insufferable. Mm-mm. But that is still, it's tragic. It's tragic to be that way and Cindy's your friend. Oh,
Her only friend.
it's a good thing she's not a good person.
Now, Cecilia is worried about Cindy, but she knows better than to ask David.
Mm-hmm.
He's already told her he's not with Cindy anymore, and the topic of them as a couple and Cindy in general, off limits.
Mm-hmm.
And she believes him because, he's shaken the shit out of her a couple of times when she's tried.
Course. Yeah.
We don't have time to go through every little nuance, but there are times during that 6-month period that, maybe you should reach out and give her a call.
Mm-hmm.
Her parents are dead. She could be having a hard time.
Yeah.
And he menaces his mother to leave it alone.
Big man.
Right?
Yeah.
Menacing this little tiny stroke victim that can only drive
Rides
around
a tricycle.
Yes. With a basket.
Yeah.
But after 6 months of radio silence, Cindy reached out to Cecilia and they start chatting on the phone. Mm-hmm. Once they were on the phone for so long that Cecilia had an earache.
Oh my God. That is a while. That's a long sesh.
Yeah. I remember getting those on occasion.
Yeah, but it's a long time.
Right? After about 2 months of calls, Cindy agreed to come by for a visit. The first thing Cecilia noticed is that Cindy had put on all the weight that she had lost.
Good.
And then some.
Ooh.
So she's on the upper ends of the low 200s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just as CNC Crazy Factory were sitting down for a Kiki, David came over.
Oh.
I mean, they are his parents.
Was this okay, so it wasn't premeditated?
No.
Okay.
No, this is just, they are his parents. Mm-hmm. He is allowed to visit them.
Yes. Yeah.
Most parents don't make their kids announce themselves.
That's true.
You just go. So no, this wasn't a setup. Mm-hmm. And the minute Cindy heard David's voice, because he comes in, hey, Mom, Dad.
Yeah.
She ran up the stairs.
Wow.
Because she didn't want David to see her. Mm-hmm. And David caught a glimpse of her and asked his mother, what was that? And Cecilia's like, well, that was Cindy. So David goes up the stairs after Cindy. He takes a quick look at her, tells her she needs to lose weight.
Yeah.
And leaves.
Oh my God. It. I feel like that's a huge incel victory.
Got fat. Bye.
We diss you and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Lose weight, fatty.
Fatty.
That's a huge victory. That's a huge incel victory.
I guess that's all you got.
It's so petty to let me go after her just to tell her she looks awful and leave.
Yeah, it's
little man.
I know, it's just like, just tell him he's ugly. You fucking cares.
But also fuck Cindy. I hope it hurt.
No, it didn't. When she came back downstairs, she was so happy.
Oh, yeah?
Because she felt that it meant that David doesn't hate her for being fat. He just wants me to lose weight.
He cares.
And I will, Cecilia.
Yeah.
I will lose the weight.
Man. That is, her self-esteem is so resilient.
Man.
Unassailable.
After this first visit, Cindy made more visits to the West home. Mm-hmm. Cindy told Cecilia that she had moved, but she refused to tell them where she was living.
Okay.
Because the mafia still after her.
And she's lying.
Remember, Cecilia believes that it's a mafia thing because she came to the conclusion herself.
Yeah. I mean, between Cecilia and Gwen and David, that's just like 3 people.
Yeah.
But that's an awful lot of people to believe her tall tales.
But Cindy didn't tell Cecilia it was a mafia thing. Cecilia plants that herself.
Oh my God.
Lest we forget, Cecilia is the one that goes lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
Trips to Vegas.
And Cindy just ran with it. She must have loved that.
Right. Cecilia's actually the one that plants this being a mafia thing into Cindy's head, because when they were playing Monopoly with the boys, Cindy said that her parents would go to Vegas a couple of times a year. And then Cecilia's like, Vegas. Lawyer. Winning.
Yeah.
Mafia. So yeah, that one's not Cindy. Much like the incest, Cecilia just has this way of handing Cindy
these plot points.
Yeah.
And she twists and turns.
Picks them up and runs with them like a champ.
Yeah. She's great at improv.
And even as they resumed their friendship, all Cindy could talk about was her parents' estate.
Oh, of course.
How her sister and her uncles are screwing her over. And the lawyers, dear God, the lawyers. Cindy complained that the lawyers she hired to try to force a settlement of the estate all wanted payment up front.
Yeah.
And if they couldn't get payment up front, they made her sign promissory notes. And Cindy was still full of dramatic stories of how evil her family is.
Of course.
In one tale of woe, she said Uncle J.W. had looted her father's safe the day after the murders.
Looted. Mm-hmm.
And all of this just makes Cecilia go, I knew it was mafia.
This is a mafia family.
Punk child is on the run from the mafia.
Oh my God.
And yet you keep letting this goofy heifer come into your house.
I know, right?
If you were that afraid that she's mixed up with the mafia or some hired guns are after you, why do you keep letting her come over?
I know, right?
Because it would be only a matter of time before they traced her to you, simple bitch.
Exactly.
But this is how Cecilia entertains herself, girl. This is what happens when you're in a decades-long marriage of eccentric indifference.
Oh my God, right? Ooh, like a lavender marriage.
Yeah, but somehow worse. Because I think people in lavender marriages are legit friends.
Yeah, like they take an interest in each other's lives.
Yeah.
No, you're right, that is worse.
Cindy may have been able to rekindle her friendship with Cecilia, but after that last run-in, she's still on the outs with Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
Their brief reconciliation after Gwen had that interview with the cops lasted like 2 or 3 months, but now they rarely spoke.
Good for you, Gwen.
When Gwen and her husband had made the decision to throw Cindy out, Gwen's husband decided to keep Cindy's color TV.
Yes.
He figured that was payment for pain and suffering.
Yes.
All the booze. She killed their bar.
Right, yeah.
And ate them out of house and home for 48 hours.
She is a curvy lady.
And so he thinks that this is payment for the food, the booze, and the pain and suffering.
Yeah, that is fair.
And keeping this TV.
Yeah. She got off light.
That fall, Gwen was at work when she got a call from her 6-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
The little boy was crying and saying that Cindy had come over.
Oh, God. Nightmare.
According to the 6-year-old, Cindy grabbed him and held him in her lap while her boyfriend took the TV.
Oh. Oh, that poor little kid.
And this isn't David. This is a whole new guy.
Yeah.
Middle Eastern guy. We won't spend a whole lot of time with him. It doesn't matter.
She's always looking for a new sucker.
Yes. And she has a thing for Middle Eastern guys.
Really?
Because she says, and this is probably a lie, that in Islam, God will forgive you for murder as long as you kill an infidel.
Oh my God. Weirdo. Fucking weirdo. I'm
like, if you were just looking for absolution, can't you just be Catholic?
I know, right? But you have to mean it.
Again, I don't know a lot about Islam.
Yeah, but that doesn't sound
my
right.
knowledge is, it's been a very long time since I've read the Quran.
Yeah, high school.
Jesus,
not even all the Quran, just
I'm like probably even before that. I mean, I haven't been to a mosque since I was 12.
Yeah, I've not been in a mosque. We covered that a good Catholic school education includes learning about all religions.
Yeah.
And we read parts of the Quran and learned all about Islam.
So
it was a long time.
One of my aunts converted to Islam around the time I was born.
Oh yeah.
So her pod
Yeah.
has always been Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I would have to go to mosque with them.
Yeah.
Like if I was,
Is that what they call it?
yeah,
Just going to mosque?
yeah,
Okay.
just going to the mosque. And so I would have to go to the mosque with them if I was crashing at their house, like if I was in Georgia or something. I would crash with them. I used to speak halfway decent Arabic.
Neat.
Now the best I can give you is a nice assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam.
Yeah.
Any other Arabic that I've used is long gone because I don't use it.
Yeah.
So, in my very limited knowledge of Islam, that don't sound right.
Right.
I don't.
That's racist.
Yeah, I don't remember there ever being a kill all the infidel.
No, that sounds like Hollywood movie, like that kind of hysterical.
Yeah, and
invention.
I was going to the mosque like in the late 80s, early 90s, at the height of like Elijah Muhammad's running this shit.
Right.
So there would have been a whole lot of extra crazy going around,
True.
but never that.
Yeah. Within reason.
When Cindy and her dude left, she told the little boy, "Don't tell anybody that we came, or bad men are gonna come hurt your mom."
Oh my god.
And that's when that little boy called his mother.
Aww,
He waited till Cindy and that man left the house and called his mother straight away.
Good boy. My god, I just watched the Righteous Gemstones the other night.
It's so good.
And so, of course, I'm thinking about baby Kelvin under the bed.
Oh, yeah. That was a good episode.
It was unexpected.
I told you it's a good show.
It is.
So after Gwen gets this call from her son,
Mm-hmm.
she calls Cindy. She's like, "What the fuck?
Right?
If you wanted the TV back, all you had to do was ask. You did not have to terrorize my child."
Exactly. Trash.
What
I know.
is wrong with you? You don't terrify a little boy over a fucking TV.
I know, right?
You call the parents. You ask for your TV back.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they say no, you don't terrorize the child. You just cut your losses and go get a new fucking TV. You get $500 a week, bitch. You can afford a TV.
Yes.
You ain't got no other bills other
Yeah.
than replacing that
I know.
fucking TV.
It's just being mean for mean's sake.
Right? Cindy started going off, accusing Gwen of stealing for her, accusing her husband of sexual assault. Gwen's husband would never.
You're right? Ugh.
It burns his eyes just even look at her.
He's like, never, ever again let this woman in my house.
You know what? Gwen decided there is no arguing with crazy,
True.
and she just hung up.
Good girl.
Just before Thanksgiving, Gwen got another call from Cindy. This time, Cindy opened the conversation calling Gwen a whore, cow, pig, slut, skank.
God. Oh, she is such a child.
It's like man, bear, pig.
I know
different.
it is. Just like all the bad words you could think of, like horse, skunk, bleh.
Yeah. And she accused Gwen of stealing from her, of course, accused her husband of assaulting her. On and on and on
Broken
and on and
record.
on. I think she even accused the teenager of trying to rape her.
She would. Yeah, that is so in her character. Ugh.
Gwen didn't even fight it. She got an earful.
Mm-hmm.
Then she hung up the phone and changed her number.
Good for you, Gwen.
And now they are officially done.
Yeah.
This friendship is officially over.
Good for
now.
you, Gwen.
It took some fits and
Yeah.
starts. But Gwen,
good for her.
Gwen's done now. While Cindy is busy alienating everyone she knows, David is trying to pull himself back together.
Yeah.
He bought a new Trans Am.
Oh, God.
Oh, now he's after his papa's love. Papa, can you hear me?
Papa, will you love me?
And he's like, "Look, Dad, it's a brand new Trans Am. It's a limited edition. It's this, it's that, it's whoop, it's whoop." And Duval was like, "Well, that's nice, son. You know I don't know nothing about race cars, right, son?
He's like, this does not fall into my limited niche of interests.
But if you say that this is the greatest one, I believe you, son.
Yeah.
I can't have that conversation with
Yeah.
you because I don't know.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. And the reality is, and David is all too aware of this,
Mm-hmm.
David is not the kind of son Duval West wanted.
Yeah.
While David was in the Marines when he was stationed in Morocco, his parents took in an exchange student. For some reason, this kid ended up being their boarder.
Okay.
And he was considered one of the best chess players in the entire state of Texas.
Oh, wow.
Duval and this kid get really close.
Oh, my God.
So close, Duval lets him borrow the family car, yada
Wow.
yada, and he stayed in David's room. When the young boarder, his studies are over, it's time for him to move on to his PhD or whatever it is next in his career. Duval was devastated.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Now that is a daddy wound.
That's the son Duval wanted.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And that's the man that David West will never be. So he is all too aware
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
that he is not the kind of man that his father appreciates.
God.
But that didn't stop him from trying to bond with his pops in all the wrong ways. Trans Am didn't work. Said all he did was smile and
Yeah,
say, well, that's nice, son.
good for you.
Then David tried sharing news clippings about missiles, military tactics, war. and
Oh my
guns.
God. What a meathead. You know?
Here's what's funny. Duval is a graduate of West Point.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
But
that's
he-
how he tried to chase his dad's love? Is the Marines part of that?
Probably.
Oh, man.
But he clearly had no interest in the armed services once he
Yeah.
got
Like,
his
based
education.
on his age, I'm guessing he, it was, like, Korea or World War II.
I think Korea.
Yeah.
But,
And he did his duty.
and he didn't even go anywhere. He just went to West Point.
Oh, okay. So,
Like, he was alive for the Korean
Yeah.
War. But as far as I know, Duval West did not see.
okay.
Like, he grew up going to military school.
Okay, it must have been just natural to him.
Right.
But he didn't love it. And he
He-
didn't pursue it.
Right. He had no real desire to be a
That's so
military
weird.
guy.
Yeah.
That's just where he went to school.
That's interesting. I've never thought about someone just kind of ending up going to West Point.
If
To
you
me, it's
grow
like-
up in military schools, yeah, where else would you end up?
I guess. Yeah.
And David tried. He's like, "Hey, Dad, look at this new Swedish space
Space
laser
lasers.
bazookas."
Swedish space laser.
Just, whatever. It was just look, Dad, new Norwegian machine gun. Ooh, how cool! And Duval would smile at his boy politely and just say, it's really amazing, David, how you keep up with technology and
Current
strategies
events.
and war. I graduated from West Point, and I don't know nearly as much about these
Yeah.
things as he's very nice.
Oh my God. Which I feel like must be worse than rejection.
Yeah, like
Kind of a polite indifference.
yes, because he's clearly not trying to hurt the boy's feelings,
Yeah.
but he also doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. There's nothing for here for me to grab onto. There's no adhering.
But well played him for trying to be nice to the boy.
Very decent man.
Since Duval considered himself an intellectual, and a little bit more on the progressive side, especially compared to David, David decided to try to bond with his dad via conversations around race relations.
Oh my God.
Politics, that'll do it, right?
Yeah.
I tried the fancy car, you didn't give a shit.
Tried war, but you don't give a shit.
Politics and race relations.
Oh my God, here we go.
Now, David told his father, "I am not racist, Dad."
Oh no! And when you have to start that way.
You're about to be real racist.
Right?
So he's not racist. He told his dad that several times. But he was like, "Dad, you got to admit that the cultural differences made most American blacks some of the most stupid, lazy, sleazy, pushy, low-class, ignorant, jive-ass people you've ever met."
Jive ass.
Yes. You hate the blacks, but you just stealing our stuff. You know what?
Right? You piece of shit.
I ain't got time. I'll save that lecture for some well-meaning wannabe ally on Twitter or something. I'll save that for them.
Yeah.
He followed that, of course, by saying he had no issue with educated blacks like Sidney Poitier.
Oh my God. Like Sidney Poitier. The one I know. I can name one.
Who is black, but he's not American. You know what? Never mind. Never mind. Again, I'll save that rant for some sweet summer child on Twitter one day.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that right there because there's a whole lot of respectability politics. And I mean, I love me some Sidney Poitier.
Of course.
But he is a little bit problematic, but not in the ways that people think of as being. Like, respectability politics is problematic.
Yes.
And he was a poster boy for that in his time. In spite of all of his activism work and everything, he wore the uniform of a respectable white man.
Yes.
Which made his left-leaning politics more palatable to certain groups of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I said I was going to save that rant for Twitter on another day.
That is
interesting. Went into
it.
But yes, the Sidney Poitiers of the world, he's got no issues with it. Yeah. Duvall just smiled at his son and said, well, that's definitely an interesting approach, David.
Oh my God. That is very diplomatic.
This man...
Disengaging. He's like Neo in bullet time. Just like every attempt to like share like a thought or like have any kind of intellectual intimacy. He's like, no.
David said his father was an emotionally constipated intellectual.
No, he loved that other kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's got it in him. He's just like, it's just there's something wrong with this pup. He's never interested him.
You know what's funny? All David had to do was like learn how to play chess.
I know, right? And that's funny. He's like his father is incapable of like relating to him, and he is incapable of relating to his father. If one of them could just,
all he had to do was read the Iliad once,
right, and care.
Or Ulysses.
Yeah.
All he had to do is pick one great literary work.
Something his dad could talk about.
And learn how to play chess.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they would have been as tight as Duvall was with that border.
Yeah.
But they would at least have more civil conversations and spend more time enjoying one another's company instead of this whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah, like okay.
I don't know what this is when you're trying to bond with somebody over all of the worst things.
I know.
I don't know what made him think that his leftist sitter Dixiecrat daddy wants to sit around and talk about race relations with him.
Mind-boggling.
It's
absolutely
anything,
mind-boggling.
Anything. And nothing worked.
That's what they have in common, is that inability to, like, understand people unlike themselves.
Man, maybe they should bond over that in a not racist way. They could sit around and bond over how they don't understand the world in a not racist way.
There we go. Yes. I don't know if David's capable of it.
David's not. Duvall is.
Yes. Yeah.
I bet he could tell me everything that's wrong in the world, but not blame any of those ills on anybody's race, creed, or color.
Yes.
But he'll tell you everything that's wrong with the world.
Yes.
So, like, it can be done, and I think I have faith in Duvall.
Yeah, I know, right?
So since David's not getting anywhere with his father,
Mm-hmm.
he went back to being Captain Justice,
Oh, God.
looking for street fights and scum that deserved it. So now he's getting into scrapes with people for being rude in traffic. People that he catches abusing women. I don't even know if he catches anybody. He swears he does. Swearing too loudly in front of women and children.
I am Captain Douchebag.
Any excuse that he can find to pop somebody.
God, what a... It's like, learn to play chess.
That's all I'm telling you. If he learned how to play chess,
I know.
him and his father could have very nice, superficial conversations about the news and the weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could talk about traffic and routes to work.
Yeah, but no, I'm gonna start shit in these streets.
Yeah, they could just sit there and play chess and talk shit about their cousins or something.
Right.
But
Complain about mom.
here we are. Now, David may have been trying to find himself through street fights after the murder. But that doesn't mean that he's off the hook for Cindy's crazy. After a few months of not speaking, Cindy called David ready to spit tax.
Ooh.
Cindy said she's being screwed over by her lawyers who aren't protecting her interest in the estate.
Yes.
She swore Uncle JW was lying about what Cindy was entitled to and was trying to hide assets from her.
Mm-hmm.
As Cindy whined, David told her that it's good that she called him.
Oh, yeah?
See, he had been through the ringer when he got that inheritance from his aunt.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows exactly what to do to settle
no.
the estate.
Oh, no. A grievance in common. That's all she needs to wriggle her way.
And his daddy won't talk to him. So.
And he's mad.
So David's sage advice was to tell Cindy to stand up for herself.
Mm-hmm.
And reminded her that she had promised him half of whatever she got. So if they're stealing from you, they're stealing from me.
Yes.
Then David offered to go down to the county clerk's office and see exactly what kind of real estate holdings the Campbells have. All that shit's public record.
Yes.
So he's like, I know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Blah. Over lunch with his mother, David was quite proud of himself when he said that he found 14 Campbell properties in one afternoon.
Wow.
And out of those 14, 8 were unlisted.
Mm-hmm.
Translation, they are things that belong to somebody named James Campbell. I don't even know if he knows for sure if it's the...
Yeah.
James and Campbell are pretty common names.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the unlisted properties are even these Campbells.
Yeah.
They're probably other Campbells that maybe sold the stuff, passed away, whatever.
Yeah. But we have 2 dumbasses telling themselves sweet, sweet stories. I bet on some level he did believe it.
Yeah, but because I'm like, that makes no sense.
I know.
You found 14 properties, 8 are unlisted. That means the 8 unlisted have something else going on with them. And if they have something else going on with them, they're probably not owned by these Campbells.
Yeah.
But whatever. He found 14, girl. By the end of their lunch, David and Cecilia agreed that Cindy's sisters and uncle were trash, who were trying to steal Cindy's rightful inheritance from up under her.
Mm-hmm. It's like the wind up again. I can't stand it.
Did I mention it's only been a year since her parents were killed?
God.
This is all 1 year.
Man. She's going batshit.
And as much as David likes street fights, having killed 2 people is starting to wear him down.
Mm.
Like I said earlier, he didn't have a problem with killing James. James was awful.
Yeah.
But he's starting to feel bad about Virginia.
Mm.
All she did was, like, slap her once and
Yeah.
chain her to a closet.
Yeah. That shouldn't get a capital punishment. Yeah.
And probably shouldn't have killed her like I did James.
Yeah.
Sometimes David thought about Cindy's stories of being locked up, chained in closets, beaten. Was any of it true?
Ooh.
But David would push the thought out of his mind because even if only what half of what Cindy said about her family was true, half of that horror is still horror.
Yes.
So they were still awful.
Yeah.
I think he said something like awful by half is still awful.
That is true, but it's awful by none.
Right. So so every time he's like, could she have conned me? No.
No, I'm too clever. You can't trick me. She's so dumb.
Right? One night, David found himself out on a date with the woman. He'd been out with her a few times.
Mm.
And all she does is complain about her abusive, soon-to-be ex-husband.
Yeah.
David thought about killing the guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Captain Justice.
True.
He's a little
He's in the
buzzed.
mode.
He's a little buzzed, and she's going on and on about how her husband sucks, or how she wishes she could lock him in a basement just so she could laugh at him.
Oh, my God.
He's dated this woman a handful of times. This seems to be her MO.
Yeah.
That, like, she leaves her husband, goes out with David, complains about what a dick her husband is.
Yeah.
A few days later, goes back to the husband.
Yeah.
A month later, goes out with David again.
He's part of her process now.
Yeah, like, they seem to have this pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why but now he's already killed a guy.
Yeah.
2 people.
That went out of my system.
So it's a lot easier, and now he's in his Captain Justice mode.
True.
So it's easy to go, I should just kill him.
Ugh. Yeah.
He's already done it and gotten away with it once.
The perfect crime.
But in the end, David said, no, I don't need any more killing. No, it's not worth it. No more killing. No more bloodshed. I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah. David, you're a dumbass, but that's a good decision right there.
No, the mental anguish. It's
Good.
too much. So he decided to stay out of his date's domestic affairs and went back to just drinking and nodding in solidarity.
Good choice.
As his date went on about the horrors of her home life, David's like, well, if it's as bad as you say, just go home tonight and kill him. Remember, he's still a little buzzed.
Yeah.
He talked himself out of doing it.
Yeah, but she can't do it. It's that bad.
This woman looked at him and said, you can't do that, David. Like, she is appalled. Like, no. I'm working this out. I'm trying to figure out how to leave. You're my sounding board. You don't just kill people.
No. Bad move, David.
David's like, yeah, you can.
Oh my God.
Yep. You can.
Ree.
And something about the way David said, yes, you can.
Yeah.
It clicked in her head.
Oh, wow.
Remember, the Campbell murders have been all over the paper.
True.
She knows that David and Cindy used to date.
True.
Are these those Campbells?
Oh my God.
Is that why you broke up? What did you know? Did Cindy tell you anything? They've had conversations about the case before.
Oh my God.
But like in a very superficial,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
oh my God, these people that were killed are like the parents of a mutual acquaintance. I've never been a mutual acquaintance.
True.
That
is big news.
To murder victims before. So let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So she's asking, when they have talked about the case, she's asking, I guess, more or less innocently, I would think.
Yes.
But something in this moment, it clicked. And she was like, no. David. You didn't.
Oh my God.
No. David sipped his beer, looked her in the eye, and said, yes, I did.
Ooh.
And by closing time, David had laid out the entire story
Oh my God.
to his date.
Oh.
And when he was done, she promised not to tell. And that is where we'll leave you.
Oh no, you can't.
Until next week.
What's gonna happen?
stuff and things.
Subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe to hear the continuing saga of Cindy Campbell Ray and David Duvall West.
Yeah.
And on that note, I've been Samara.
I've been Jeannie.
And this has been Talk Deadly to Me.